Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast. Coming at you from the dank in Newtown, this is the Simpsons Index, episode 45. Hello, my name is Elliot Jay O'Neill, and joining me in the dank tonight is...
I am the ow in the word now. And if you tell anyone...
And?
I'm a girl named Mindy, or a man named Andy.
And finally...
I'm the piano genius from the movie Shine.
And your name is?
Shiny McShine.
Glad to have you. As you can see, we have some special guests tonight. And yes, this is the Simpsons Index, the podcast where we watch and review 3 episodes of The Simpsons at a time. The catch is each episode comes from a different decade. And we just watched an episode from the HD era. It is called Dangerous Curves. It was released in 2008. It is season 20, episode 5, written by Billy Kimball and Ian Maxtone Graham. In this episode, we look at Marge and Homer's relationship through 3 different points in time as they go visit a log cabin. Guys, what did you think?
I didn't like it.
Good.
It was fine. It was fine. I watched it. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. I don't feel like there's very much to say about it. It's just another Homer and Marge have a problem with their marriage, but also origin story, I guess.
Yeah. But it's like
it's not a very good one. It's just
it's a popsicle made out of water.
It's like you sort of saw the day that they had where nothing very much happened, like they've gone back in time to watch them, essentially do laundry and sit on the couch.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like there's no wacky hijinks. There's not very much storytelling.
I actually feel like 3 stories about them doing laundry would have been more interesting than this one.
I would watch that.
Anyway, so yeah, the episode starts out. They're going out on a trip to this log cabin. They pick up the squeaky voiced teen who's hitchhiking.
Who's with a girl.
Yeah.
Quite an attractive girl.
He is punching above his weight.
Good
but
for you,
she's
squeaky
going to
voice.
take him for all he's worth or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Apparently.
yeah. We find that out later in the episode.
She
She's
does
just
the
scamming
shifty
him.
eyes, yeah.
How did Homer pick that, by the way? Because clearly, he must have been right. The shifty eyes were there.
Homer's just an intuitive person sometimes.
I suppose so.
Not
How
all.
much is squeaky voiced teen worth? I mean, he works...
Oh, no, someday.
Someday.
He's going to be the next big thing in Silicon Valley.
Wait for the fortune, marry the woman that's been with him all along, and then she breaks his heart and his fortune in half. Riding off into the sunset with one middle finger raised high.
What a bitch.
All right.
Hypothetically.
Let's split it up into 3 parts. Let's
I
tell
agree.
each story separately.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
I was going to say, look, this episode is a structural mess.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
hard. It's going to be hard for us to even talk
I
about
like
it.
the idea of the interweaving storylines, but it came across very convoluted feeling. I was never quite sure where we were or what was happening in the other threads.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there wasn't no moment where they're like, oh, well, we came here when we were first dating. Flashback. They kind of just drive past
Yeah.
themselves, and then it
Yeah.
goes like 10 years earlier. Like, oh, I guess
look.
now we're here.
I'd like that kind of cut, but all right, essentially there was the young Homer and Marge who never want to get married, but definitely want to maybe someday.
Buglies.
Canoodle.
Yeah, they definitely want to have sex, but they're not too sure on the marriage
Canoodle.
thing. Snuggle.
It's a-
Snuggle beach.
This is
Wait,
an
Snuggle.
R-rated podcast, guys. Say every fucking thing you want. Like fucking. They want to fuck.
Fine, they want a fucking canoodle. Gee. You happy now?
No, I want a fucking canoodle. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, yeah. Apple canoodle, like chocolate custard canoodle.
Ooh,
Icing on-
kinky. Chocolate and custard. Wow.
So yeah, you got the very early Homer and Marge who are young, don't want to get married, and then there's the past Marge where Homer. There is the next. Fuck.
Yeah, right.
This is confusing. In my notes, it's pasta, past, and present.
Ooh, pasta. That'll go nicely with my canoodle.
I think if we chop them apart, we're going to point out how shit each thread is by itself. Let's do it. I love it.
Yep.
All right. Well, the pasta one, like the
Okay.
the one where they want a
chronologically
canoodle
first.
So-
Okay.
They're biking.
They're biking.
He has just invented this new thing,
Biking out.
biking out. And then he says, all the teens are doing it. It's clearly a bad idea. He pressures her. She's like, well, I guess. Straight away, he falls over. He just goes plummeting headfirst into the mud. His bike is trashed. He's like, goes face first, injury style, into a big puddle of mud. She gets a little splishy splash on her, and she's just like, oh, oh my God, what the fuck, my life is ruined. There was this moment where she was just like really self-centered there. Homer, broken legs and arms in the puddle, and she's just like, oh, I've got mud on me. God.
Yeah, it's his own stupid fault.
Well,
She
yes,
said
it is.
she wasn't sure.
It is his own stupid fault.
Yeah.
But he has shown himself to be pretty resilient. I think Marge breaks a lot easier than Homer does.
I think there've been a bunch of character breaks like that. Like, Marge is never that person that looks at herself before looking at other people,
true.
you know? Like in the bit where we get to in a bit where Lisa's like crazy angry at Grandpa.
Yeah.
No, they're just outright torturing him.
Yeah, Lisa, like little sweet Lisa.
No, when she was 2, she
I
was...
know.
Holy fuck.
I actually like that bit.
Yeah, I liked it too, and I like the segue. Oh, let Grandpa enjoy the kids for a little bit. And you hear this laughter coming from the house, and it's just the kids.
And Lisa's just
Tickle
like,
torturing
I
him.
will fucking end you.
Tell me where the cookies are!
But they're not beating him up. They're using tickle. Like they're tickle boarding him.
Yeah, man. But
You still
no,
use the
it's-
term boarding.
Yeah. It's a dark place. Lisa's in a dark place. And
She's 2. She's a monster. It's
dude,
fine.
it feels out of keeping. Lisa was the littlest, sweetest 2-year-old. She was all like, "Hey, me milk cookie, etc."
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, David Hasselhoff.
So yeah, and they do more pointless, like, out of character work by reintroducing the Simpsons to Maude and Ned. Like,
Yeah, and then like Homer's like, Marge, I love this guy. Get it? 'Cause in the future I hate him. Wow.
I hope
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think I'll ever say this again, but stupid Flanders.
Really, like it really draws attention to how much older Flanders is than them.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like 30 there,
That was
and they're like 16,
A
17.
bit of continuity I
maybe.
actually really like that. You
Yeah.
forget. I forgot for a moment. It's like, why does he? That's right.
Really
he's
makes me
actually-
wonder how old Rod and Todd are though in like present time. Like, are
I've
they
been told
like
10 and 12.
so they had kids when he was like 50, 48?
I guess.
It's possible.
I mean, yeah, sure, that's possible. It's just
I guess that makes Maude pretty young as well.
Yeah, I think Maude is young and Flanders is old.
wow.
So yeah, talking about this storyline, so the whole thing in this past is that Ned and Maude are constantly trying to keep Homer and Marge from fucking.
Because they're not married yet.
Canute.
Yeah,
No, it doesn't matter.
but it's actually their honeymoon,
Yep.
which is I actually kind of didn't mind that.
Look,
as a
it's
bit.
not a bad idea.
Mostly because they were both already on board with it.
Yeah,
I think it
it's
would have
got
been
this
more
sort of, like-
annoying if Maude was like, I can't believe you're keeping this couple apart on our honeymoon. But the fact
Yeah,
that she's
yeah.
kind of with it as well made it kind of funny.
It's sort of like Weekend at Bernie's 80s shenanigan
Yeah.
movie, you know?
Yeah, I like the shenanigan vibe.
Yeah, very
Also-
hijinksy.
I did like Flanders and Maude.
Yeah, finally alone.
Yeah, finally alone, honeymoon night, and she's like doing up the buttons on her
He's
like,
like,
flannel pajamas.
Your great grandmother's PJs. You know what that does to me.
But he said dead grandmothers. Like,
Oh, I
Yeah.
know.
so isn't that a bit disturbing?
No, it was like the bit they were going. It was 2 separate bits that didn't belong together, and then
Yeah.
they smashed
Sure.
them together.
Yeah.
But another bit out of character, though, was Ned and Maude's bickering in the car as well.
Yeah.
That felt
Yeah.
very out of Flanders'
It
character.
did. And it's just there to follow it up. Like he's like this. Oh, she'll nag you, and you'll probably just go to your grave, being a little bit tired of her. But that's fine. We've been married since this afternoon,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was clearly a punchline, and they had to work towards it.
which is kind of weird because I would have liked it if he'd been all, well, we waited, but God led us to each other, and this is the way it's supposed to be. A bit more, not necessarily righteous, but
Yeah,
as in, this is why I believe in this so much
Yeah.
because it's worked for me.
What I could have seen is Maude being like, "Oh, our marriage is perfect, but you guys are going to bicker forever," because that's like she always had this sort of preachy, holier than thou streak.
Although that's more of a Helen Lovejoy thing.
Oh yeah.
It is. most
Maude
definitely.
wasn't too vindictive. Helen Lovejoy was the one
the
that,
kind
like,
of comments like that from Maude always felt more like she didn't realize how passive aggressive they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Helen Lovejoy's just, I'm just going to turn that knife.
I guess there was yeah. Helen, I hope you're listening.
In hell.
Yeah. I did get bored with the whole Ned trying to keep Homer and Marge away from each other story, though.
Yeah.
Like, and
It didn't go anywhere?
no, not really. Like, it was good, like you guys were saying, when it led up to the cabin and
Yeah.
dead grandma's pajamas. But then later on, when they totally entrap them,
Yeah, they're out and they go, I'm going to let you see your girlfriend, but no canoodles or any other kind of noodles.
and then
And-
Marge has got a super soaker sniper
Yeah, but
in
I
a tree.
literally don't remember where that scene went. Oh, that's when he carves the name into the tree. That's right.
Mm.
I also have questions about, was that 10 years back or 15 years back?
That was...
I'd say, yeah, 15, 20.
Yeah.
Very early relationship.
Yeah.
I feel like dates on Super Soakers, possibly, be an issue at this point? They can't be that old, can they? Can they?
Yeah.
Googling on the Simpsons index.
Google, how old is a super soaker?
Simpsons have retconned the past already since this point and done the
okay.
whole 90s thing. Like,
Putting the little mouse trap outside her door so that, oh, snap, she's going to lose a toe if she tries to sneak out and get Frankie. And then...
You say get Frankie?
Yeah, I heard that too.
don't stop twisting.
1990s till the present is when the Super Soaker began.
90s. No chance. Man, Super Soakers weren't even invented when The Simpsons started coming out.
Nope.
Damn. Busted custard.
Custard either.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't sound... Really?
Yeah, Custard only came out in the 90s, man.
Custard was available in the Garden of Eden.
I got a new apartment. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Snap.
Australian music jokes for all you American listeners. Look up Custard.
Yeah, totally. They're great.
Oh, so they put a bear trap outside Homer's door. Again as a gag.
Look
Funny,
up Custard.
Sort of.
The whole point of the storyline was to get the carving of the name in the tree, and I swear to God, they've already done the carving in some other Homer and Marge episode, right? Like they've done the tree carving.
But this brings it to what another thing that I hate about this episode is they're going for the whole cut to past, show something, and then doing an immediate payoff in the present day. And they did this here where like they just carved the name into the tree to quickly then build suspense.
Bill and Tedding.
Bill and Tedding?
Yeah, man. Okay, so what if we promise to go back and put a key right here, and then suddenly there's a key in his hand because he's going to go back in time and put it in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
I will quickly say there is one joke in this I did like, which is when Flanders first picks them up and said, "So you're not married, but I saw you riding to a breast." And he's like, "We were riding to a lake, but whatever."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, wordplay. I never really cared for it."
I just got to ask.
Flanders.
I thought he did. Isn't
Yeah,
all
he
the
loves
diddlies
it.
and doodlies, isn't that a form of word play?
He's just very poorly scatting.
What about the one where he's picking up Edna? He's all like, "Oh, I'm all about innuendos in your endos."
No, he says,
He did not say that.
"Don't use double entendres on a first date" or something like that. Only single entendres, which is they use that here as well. It's later on.
Yeah. When he's talking to Homer, like, "Did you miss Marge last night?" "Yeah, missed her 5 times." Single entendre.
Whoa, that's a smutty joke for The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Also, can I just interject and say I really like Dan's like mental picture of Flanders, which involves innuendos and what was it, a pussy tickler as well. Like the Flanders in your mind is like really grotty.
What's fun is I listened back to that episode and I was hilariously laughing to my own sync of me laughing to that line because you got me in the exact same way both times.
Yeah, I've done that too. I've done that.
Just, oh my God, that's what I sound like.
I have a real issue with you guys like asking Dan something and I'm listening to it and then I answer. It's terrible.
I have the one where I hear you guys say something and I go to say something and I'm like, oh my God, the podcast to me is saying that.
Well done, Past Elliot.
You know how I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about this story other than Wiener Lock. That was a weird phrase.
Yeah, that felt out of character for Maud. We're back on the out of character bits.
Okay, so let's go, I don't know, 5 years back. The mid-past, yes.
Past-ish.
And so, yeah, they're driving, they ditch Patty and Selma on the side of the road for being annoying.
I will say, there is a good line there where they're like, "Did you have to pee in the pool?" And he goes, "Everyone does it, usually not from the diving board."
Yeah.
That bit I'll pay. That was pretty good.
And there was something that Marge said that was really rude and ill-planned or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they had the map. Yeah, I didn't mind that.
Yeah.
Not well enough to remember the joke, obviously, but, you know.
Well, yeah, it was tying into all them in the present day arguing in the car. And, I mean, at least they were going for the transitions in this episode. It just wasn't anything. So this kicks off them being all pissed off at each other. But, I did like the gag of, it's okay, I'll follow the compass. It says east. That's the fuel gauge.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. And then they end up at some rich dude's party.
As you often do. Usually it's a spooky cabin when you run out of fuel.
Yeah.
But this time, rich guy's party.
Yep, and he's got 3 kinds of cheese. Yellow, orange, and orange yellow.
Did anyone else think he was just, like, he was going to turn out to be super gay? Like, from the start, when you first met him? Like,
what was his name?
I'm going to assume it was Geraldo. Until proven otherwise, it is Geraldo.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. I wrote suave dude in my notes.
Yeah.
Oh, he was just, showing Marge like this wonderful life, and then he had like these very specific clothes for her. I thought he was going to turn out to be like a fashion designer or something. That was like the comical mix-up that was going to happen.
Marjorie, you could be Geraldo's model.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Let me show you another life you could have away from this buffoon of a man. But I love him. Oh, well, then you should run to him.
Yep, and so sexy girl that looks a lot like Mindy starts hitting on Homer.
Yep. Oh, they're like, we need to use the phone, and sexy Spaniardo is like, oh, it's past the pool table, left of the pinball machines. Take a right at the naked trampoline, and past the reverse DJ. I don't know. Expensive party things. Insert here.
Reverse DJ.
Do you remember this episode?
I think he remembers a better version.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to figure out what a reverse DJ does, and I don't know if I should just burn DJs or just like he shows up and I don't even know.
He sucks the music from the room.
DJs do that now.
No. He separates songs into its component pieces.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. Let's go with that one.
All right, we've solved the mystery of the reverse DJ.
I'm pretty sure he just walks in and presses stop on an iPod.
Elliot. I'm sorry, it's so boring.
No, this is all great stuff for the deleted scenes.
You've got about 2 minutes of episode.
Out of all three of the storylines, past, present, and extra past, this was probably my favorite one because it seemed the most fleshed out.
It had the most stuff happening.
Like
that was the most fun, yeah.
The middle one actually had a decent plot, although it boggles the mind as why Homer picks up these women that just fucking love him. Like, they love everything about him.
Well, and this she's kind of taking his stupidity for charming. So, he says
was
things
being
like,
pretty charming.
She's all like, are you here with anyone? He's all like, I'm here with you. Which means he's just dumb reacting to, I'm standing right in front of you. You know who I'm here with. It's you.
A martini. Are you trying to get me drunk? No, I'm trying to get me drunk.
Yeah, that little scene was fine. But, just the rest of it where he's like, I wish you were Marge. I'll be anyone you want me to be. Like, she knows that's his wife.
Yeah.
Oh, and so did the other guy. Oh, my God. Why do married women always have husbands?
So weird.
Poor Geraldo.
Antonio, I think.
Geraldo is better.
But yeah, there were. This is where the majority of the good material out of the episode came. Yeah, there was sushi fight. I love that.
Yeah. In the midst of it, Marge falls into the pool but gets angry at Homer for that because she literally did that on her own. It was weird.
Yeah. She went for the storm off and
stormed off into a pool, and it's like, that's your own fault there, lady. But yeah, it was just a dumb, really overly forced fight. Like, he's not doing well at this point, but it felt like a plot move along kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, in this scene as well, when they're doing the limbo dance, this has like one of my favorite all-time Simpsons songs. Like, I'll be honest here.
Yes.
Oh, come on, man.
All around the something world.
Yeah, like
First
that line.
off, like the way her voice is processed is really like Disney. Over the top, make her voice sound like a studio recording.
Yeah.
Which to me really cuts you out of the moment of, hey, we're doing a song in the middle of a bit. Second, they didn't do any of that sort of thing to his voice, so it sort of felt like they were cutting between two different songs. I like him forgetting the lyrics, but that was really all there was to it. He was
one very specific lyric.
Well, no, it was funny because in the first one he forgets the word limbo, and then in the other one he forgets every other word but limbo. Something limbo something. I always find myself singing that, especially at all those limbos that we attend.
You are winning me over.
But yeah, what about the whole cut gag?
Come with me, Marjorie. I shall take you on a ride. Or should I say glide? And she's like, I'm just glad you're talking again. You said nothing for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
That was good.
He did actually say, I'll take you for a ride in sort of this sexual innuendo way.
Oh, a ride. Geraldo, I'll take you for a ride.
Well, that's what he tries to do when they're at the log cabin later. And they're there at the same time as Homer and Mindy look alike.
I also really like his line when
Amanda?
They're in the glider.
Sylvia.
They're in the glider and he's like, Marjorie, that party was beneath you. It's someone of your grace and elegance. And oh, look, a cheap motel. Let's land.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. But, I mean, that was full of good bits. And then, when Marge and Homer discover that the other one's there. And
it's a classic little comedy of errors at both of them trying to cover it up. And, oh, can't sleep in this house with that Foot Locker in here. Better drag it outside.
Because it has... Yeah. But then Homer, Marge put him in there, and then Homer gets the same idea with Sylvia. Shoves her in there.
It really felt at first like it was going to be one of those bits where the guy dies in the box and they just forget about him.
Yeah.
That is bleak for The Simpsons.
I suppose it is, but I mean, or the box locks and they leave and the box is still locked.
Yeah.
That's
hello.
Yeah.
Well, I can assume it was locked enough for them to have a child.
Yeah.
That little girl's not, young.
Yeah, she looks like a conceived in a box baby.
Box baby.
Yeah.
Well, she's older than Maggie, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So they must have had a...
Killed Peach.
All I can think is most children are conceived in a box.
Come on, man. Come on.
Metaphor for vagina.
I love that song, though.
It wasn't great. I didn't like it, but not saying it was making me laugh more at your line because no one else was picking it up.
So, before we move on, back at the party, we were talking about Homer's being misinterpreted as being charming and flirty when he was just sort of reacting at the spur of the moment. And I was listening to the Crack podcast. Hey guys, listen to the Crack podcast. This week was with Dana Gould, the Simpsons writer.
Yeah.
He was. Oh, this is a story removed from story. Anyway, he was telling me about a script of The Simpsons he really loves.
Yeah.
Schwartzwelder, I'm pretty sure. And he's like, how did you make it so amazing? That's my impression of Donna Gould, by the way. Donna, I'm so sorry. And Schwartzwelder was like, oh, it's easy. Homer's just a golden retriever. And that's how Schwartzwelder just approaches writing Homer the whole time. And it's brilliant. He's just in the moment, vacant-eyed and innocently approaching every situation.
Innocently approaching, always adorable.
Snap, here I am.
And that's what I liked about his whole thing with the Sylvia here is because she's reading it on another level and he is on the level. You know, he's just happy to get a pineapple pizza.
That's it. He's just looking for a
single
pat on the head.
Yeah.
Snapping, innocently looking for pats and easily distracted by shiny things.
And really likes the couch. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, has anyone else got anything else to say about this storyline?
The mid-past?
Yeah.
Let me check your note.
Yeah, I did like how those two coupled in the end because of the box, but...
Well, it seemed like a nice, complete storyline. That's what I liked about that the mid-past. It had a beginning, middle, and end. It all made sense. There were quite a few good jokes inside it.
And Homer and Marge weren't tempted, really.
And I also kind of like they were, equally guilty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like they were equally guilty. I like that they were both equally feeling guilty about it. They're like, oh, I really wish Homer was here. I really wish Marge was here. That's my Homer voice now. I think the only part I sort of didn't like, and it's pretty minor, is that from months back could see that Sylvia and Spagnardo were going to end up hooked together somehow.
Yep.
These two guilty Simpsons lovers are going to somehow end up back together, and they're gonna match make.
You should see the obscene hand gestures he's doing right now. It is vulgar.
You need extra fingers to do this gesture properly.
10 are not enough.
But yeah, it all caps off with them getting locked in the box together and hooking up and...
Wait. I have a hip flask of cognac in my pocket if you'll reach in and grab it.
Is this it?
No, but keep... wanking. I can't remember what he said.
That's
twisting.
Don't stop twisting.
Don't stop twisting. Am I supposed to be twisting it?
I don't like it personally. No.
Just in one direction. Not back and forth. Just all the way around.
Oh.
Anyway, I feel like that was a cheap joke for The Simpsons. Her hand is on my cock. Wait, Spaniard voice.
Your hand is on Geraldo's cock.
Yeah.
Get on Geraldo's pussy tickler.
Ooh, he did have a bit of a... He really had a gay moustache.
Yeah,
nothing against the gays.
More of a pussy fascinator.
Perfect.
Pussy disappointer.
Oh, bam.
All men have one of those.
Magical.
So anyway, and the present day story is all pretty much it's all interwoven cuts from the past and stuff to relate back to this story of Marge and Homer bringing Bart and Lisa and Maggie to their old love nest or some shit. And they just sort of ditch them onto a pedal car.
Yeah, that was dumb and went on. And they get this whole Bart and Lisa acting like an old married couple for no reason.
Fucking hated it. I find it creepy enough when The Simpsons do this routine of like young kids in the bickering adult situation.
Yeah.
There are a few episodes where it's been good. For example, when Lisa the mum or something like that, Lisa the Marge or whatever.
Sure.
But Lisa, in that one, it's got a set up to why she's behaving like that.
Yeah, and also it's not in like a married context. It's just like, oh, those boys of mine, you know.
Yeah.
Off to school you go. Like it's a bit cuter and a little bit less creepy.
It's just they're doing this of their own volition, and Bart's like, you know where I get detention every day, so I don't have to come home to you.
Yeah.
It's like,
what happened to us, Bart?
we grew up.
Such a forced
Yeah.
moment.
It's poignant. That's not the word I was looking for. I wanted something more.
It's like it's trying to be Oscar bait in something that is The Simpsons.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. It's dumb.
It's pronouncing the word poignant poignant. See, it's trying to be poignant.
But it's exceedingly poignant.
So yeah, Marge and Homer run into What's-His-Face and Who's He What's, and then they're like, oh, you were there, but you were there, and it's this whole...
The game is up and they get angry at each other.
Yeah, so if I was going to bronze this episode, this is the point where I stopped. Like,
Yeah, this is where it just died. Any kind of... Because there's almost a conclusion, a bad one, but it's a conclusion where they're like, oh, we came back here and isn't this historic for us? And then Haroldo and Sylvia show up. You're like, okay, so this is where we're going now.
yeah.
Homer gets trapped in a ball of luggage.
Yeah.
Then he goes to for some reason, instead of just bringing Marge to look at the
carving.
Oh, no, because he was going for an anger walk.
And finds the carving of Homer form and Marge forever. And then, but then he's like, oh, I'll show Marge this and it'll solve all our problems. But instead of going and get her and bringing her to the tree, she brings the mountain to Muhammad for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, so he goes to rip the bark off, and then the tree falls. Marge comes in the nick of time, and then sets off this the tree being like a yo-yo hanging over.
Shitty, zany antics. If
Oh,
we're talking
and-
zany antics, this is as shit as I've seen. in The
It belonged in a
Simpsons.
Roadrunner cartoon.
and
I've-
the impassioned line of, our marriage isn't in the tree, it's in us.
It's like,
Oh.
no, I thought it was in the tree this entire time after
Fucking-
28 seasons.
While we're on the zany antics of the tree thing, also Homer in the ball antics were bullshit as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was getting the octopus cables off the top of his cabin, I was just like, oh, this is great, terrifying spot where he just pulls the one and suddenly they're just like, thing, and there's cables, those flying cables with hooks on them everywhere. Because that is everyone's constant fear
Oh, yeah.
whenever you touch those things.
Hooks.
It's going to be an explosion of rubber bands and hooks.
Mhm.
I'm amazed that none of them, like, hooks wedged in his eyelids and shit. I was really expecting...
Yeah, The Simpsons does love eye gore.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes. Like that last episode
No, they
we
do.
saw.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm serious.
Think about Homer getting his eye caught in that the grease vacuum, and it comes on.
Oh,
huge.
man. No, I was thinking about when
Garlic vacuum.
he stabs in the eye. In
No,
that
no,
oth-
I know
That's a
that
couch
as well.
gag.
Yeah, but then Bart stabs him in the face like 5 times in the same episode.
That's right. But no, it was zany and like... Yeah, then because he's still stuck in the ball when the whole revelation happens, and
he's
then
stuck in the ball like it's a snowball
Sure, yeah.
gag. But I really didn't like the kick the ball and then he's just like woof rolling away and then he bounces off the treetop and he bounces off the car and boing off into the distance.
all the while saying to his wife, "I wish I never met you."
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Yeah,
Talk about undercutting any sense of importance that scene
Yeah.
had. No emotional impact that was supposed to be a powerful scene, I think.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they were meant to be as bad as each other at that point. They found out the other person was at that cabin to try, sort of, they didn't really mean to be there, but they were pseudo hooking up with someone else. So for Homer to get angrier at Marge than she does at him is just, it's really weird. It's like,
And they'd both
Yeah.
moved on from that as
No,
well.
no.
yeah, because
Wait.
even he says,
Yeah.
I'm usually worse, and that makes you worse right now, or something
yeah,
like
it's
that.
crap.
Like, no, that's not how it works.
No.
Boo.
That's the same logic that allowed you to stick her in the driver's seat and let her take credit for your DUI.
Yeah, solid
Yeah.
point.
It's like that
Mm.
same sort of jerk ass Homer.
Such
That's
a
right.
jerk ass.
But yeah, the episode all ends with the pedal car becoming a pedal boat, managing to stop in a rapidly flowing river as well. Like, they made a point that the river was rapid, and then the pedal car, like,
Bart's really like working his little legs to like. Yeah.
Somehow having room for 2 adults. There was no room for any adults in that car. It was tiny.
Oh, and then him bargaining with Bart about what rating their activities in the back seat could be.
Yeah.
PG, PG-13. Woohoo! I can make adult situations in front of my children.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to throw back to the make out to the throwback to the throwback to the
squeaky
throwback.
team.
But it feels more like it's a gag about the Simpsons writers dealing with is it the Fox network that does all the ratings, the board of ratings,
and the last thing in this episode is a little visual of it's sort of like a mirror effect of the cars going around the roundabout,
which would have worked, but it doesn't actually make sense because there's the car they've got now leaving, and it splits in 2 and comes back together again, but they're only leaving once in that car.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even make sense. Your own little could have been clever, but was actually stupid bit was stupid.
Yeah.
I was
jump
so
out of
confused. I was so confused as to what was going on until one of you actually explained it. Like, during.
And even that, they still got it wrong.
Yeah.
So just, get a little dunce cap and put it on your heads, writers.
Yeah, we're introducing the dunce ranking for this episode. But anyway, until then, it is time for the questionnaire. Now, first, let's do the food index. Tonight, we ate from Manouche Pizzas. Guys, what did you think?
Delicious.
I like it. And that leads into our fan question, coming from Janice Littman. She asks, guys, do you like pineapple on your pizza?
Well, I mean, what was it? Janice, was it?
Janice Littman.
Sit down and take a few minutes. This is going to get heavy. I know what the general consensus of this room is. So, personally, I am for it. Claire?
Yeah. I like it. I mean, not on every pizza, but I prefer a supreme.
Elliot Jay O'Neill.
Oh, I love it. How about you, Danny?
Did you know that the tingling sensation when you eat a pineapple are actually enzymes breaking down your tongue? The pineapple is one of the only foods, in fact, I think it is the only food that you eat that is literally eating you back. It is like, it's enzymes, like stomach acid, breaking down your tongue as you're eating it.
It's like the forbidden fruit. You're making it just all more tantalizing.
Oh,
it's a food that fights back. I'm more into it now.
Stomach acids breaking down your tongue.
Yep.
It's like you're eating something else's vomit.
Where do I get it?
Fucking shit. We got a pizza oven right here.
I know, and I ate some, and it was good.
Thank you, Janice.
Play count. How many times do you think you've seen this episode?
I have never seen this before, which is weird because I have seen... It started off with Bart in the car doing the cog thing with Lisa and Maggie's hair.
Yeah.
Have they done that in another episode like recently?
I think that just may have been a GIF because as soon as that happened, as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, I have seen that a lot.
I feel like we've seen that in one of the other ones, and I don't know.
Fair enough, Claire.
Yeah, I never seen it before.
Beach.
I've seen it about 3 times now.
Yeah.
Wow. Why would you? Sorry.
Well, this is from season 20. It's actually one that I had on DVD because they fast released it to DVD when they released season 20. And interesting about this episode, it's one of 9 episodes from season 20 that are not in HD. This is one of the few from the HD era that is not in HD.
Because they already made them and released them, or what's up with that?
Is it one of the? Is it like the first 9 or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Factoids.
They're fun.
Did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
We talked a lot about how many characters really felt like they dropped characters, and I think that was a big part of it for me.
Yep.
Cabins, woods, road trips with the family, all these are classic Simpsons tropes. There was a huge extended Cliff scene that's very Simpsons-y.
They do love a Cliff.
Lots of Simpson-y bits, even like tickleboarding Grandpa, that was very Simpsons-y. And yet so many characters really missed the mark for who they are, especially after 20 seasons. The writers should know them better than that.
And knowing like Marge and Homer's history enough to be able to write a good Marge and Homer's past storyline.
Yeah, because conceptually it wasn't a bad idea. Here's going to be a place that we reflect on in 3 different time periods, but
the problem is because they were cutting to them so differently.
Haphazardly.
It was very messy.
Yeah, I will say I think the mid past one, the sexy party, that felt pretty Simpsonsy.
Yeah.
And even the full flashback, I do kind of like the wacky hijinks of keeping them apart from Ned, even though it's a weird retcon to say. But this is when they actually met. Other than that, though, those parts I think. But I think the overall effect, no, it doesn't feel like Simpsons to me.
While we're on interesting factoids,
Is it the factoid is actually a fact that's incorrect?
thank you, Beach. Say it louder so that our audience can.
A factoid is in fact a fact you passed around that is actually incorrect. So any kind of thing, it's not people assume it means small little fact. It's actually an incorrect little fact.
We're broadcasting live to the entire planet. We are passing it around.
Wackiness. Yeah, balls of hockey straps. And
Yeah.
But it was all in that last part.
Yeah, it's like they had one of the writers just like, we got to chuck some wacky, zany, tree, yo-yo, barking bullshit. Barking mad. They went barking mad. Woo!
Boom. Yeah, because someone's like going, guys, this episode is nearly over. We haven't put any wacky, and we have to hit the wacky quota.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, compared to the realistic sushi fight earlier in the episode.
You can throw sushi at people. I'll show you tomorrow.
These fish died for nothing.
Yeah, that was pretty harsh. What about the heart? Did you feel the heart with Homer and Marge at the end, guys?
No.
No.
No. No. I mean...
No?
And I'm really concerned for Bart and Lisa's marriage.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to make it. They should get annulled. But no, because even if we hadn't done, Homer and Marge really do love each other and they're going to be fired like 40,000 fucking times by this point without exaggeration, then it's just like, it was badly done and it was boring. So there were no hearts to be felt.
Came through really weakly. I think it was Claire that said it before, the line that Marge is like, the marriage wasn't in the tree. It was inside of us all along.
I think she literally says, we can weather any storm. And it's like, wow, you've just turned into a Hallmark card, like a bad one. The one you read and put back because it's a cliche.
Yeah. Yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
No.
I'd prefer not to.
No, I would not.
No, it doesn't pass the hangover test.
All right. How far's the remote?
Oh, it's next to you, but it's out of batteries.
It's got some pineapple on it.
Well, in which case I will eat the pineapple, enjoy my delicious snack, and then go back to sleep. I just don't see a reason to stay awake for this one. It's just so meh. It's not in the horrible range, but it's just, what am I getting out of it?
No, that's exactly right. Well, let's rank this thing. On the Simpsons Index, we rank using our 6-point patented scale, which starts down the bottom at failure. And then it goes up. If it was a meh episode, you call it a participant. And the good rankings, you got bronze, silver, gold, and the best of the very best episodes we call cubic zirconia. And I'm going to go first. Let me show you how it's done. I am giving this episode a participant.
The Jewel Shock agrees.
That's the sound of a participant?
So yeah, I would have given it a bronze, but the last half sucked. I would have given it a failure, but the first half was kind of goodish. But ultimately, it was a really messy episode that I don't want to revisit. So participant, and on to you, BT.
Yeah, it's just a participant. I don't hate it. It's not so boring I want to get angry about it. It's just there's the very few parts I liked are just not worth the entire episode, and so I shan't be watching it again if I have the option. And it gets a little participant made out of paper and sticky tape. Just put that on your chest.
That's the child that didn't get a medal and said, we made this special one for you.
Show your mum when you get home. She'll put it on the fridge.
We don't have a fridge.
I know you don't.
Claire, what would you like to rank it?
Poor orphan. I don't know why not having a fridge.
Has a mother, doesn't have a fridge, is an orphan.
I really love food. Yeah, look, it's like we literally didn't really feel like talking about it. We're not angry at it. We're not happy. It's a participant. It's there. It's fine, but it's not that fine.
Danny?
I'm actually going to give it a failure, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I don't disagree with you guys in the participant nature of it. It is very bland and forgettable, but to me, it really irks me how it doesn't feel like a Simpsons episode and how the characters are really out. And if we're judging it as a Simpsons episode, to me, that it fails at that, you know?
Sure.
I think there are ones that are written worse or that have made me angrier, but I mean, it was really messy, chopped together. I really didn't like their use of the multiple storyline threads thing. And when they've done it so well in the past, more than once, it's really let down in directing and writing. And this, hasn't got anything that really redeems it, you know?
Sure.
Why be nice to it, man? Why not just fucking chop it down and treat
Put
it
it
like
out of its misery.
That's it.
All right. Well, that makes it a dull participant. Joining such episodes as Whiskey Business, Penny Wise Guys, $1 Million Abbey, and Mobile Homer.
Man, Penny Wise Guys was shit.
It was bad. We should have been meaner to that one.
Yeah.
All right. So now we are moving on to the awkward teens, and we're going to watch C.E.D'oh.
Is this the one where Homer takes over the nickel plant? Like,
Yep.
with Canary M. Burns? I like parts of this.
And we are back with our Awkward Teens episode. We just watched C.E.D'oh, which was released in March '03, and it is season 14, episode 15, written by Dana Gould.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
In this episode, Homer, after an unsuccessful Valentine's Day, goes to night school briefly and becomes a more proactive man and eventually rises to the top ranks of the nuclear power plant by his proactiveness. Guys, what did you think?
I liked it.
Yeah?
It was better than I remember, actually. It's
I have mixed feelings.
Yeah.
I think the script writing, like the speech, was hilarious. There were so many just like one-liners, zingers. It was Zinger City.
I'm going to say, the note I was going to leave to the end, and I'm going to put now is it's a good ep that doesn't have faith in its own plot or gags and then therefore undermines itself with wackiness.
Wow.
So it throws in wackiness instead of like, it has some parts with the really good jokes and then it just undercuts them by having wacky instead because it's like they didn't have faith that that was going to be funny enough.
Like the nuclear Legoland thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Going back to the beginning, it starts out with an Itchy and Scratchy, and this is a rare one, an Itchy and Scratchy episode, which I didn't like.
I almost liked it.
It was fine. The beginning and middle were fine, but then the end was weird. It was weird.
Yeah, it starts out good. They're in like sort of a 60s greaser thing.
I think they're doing American Graffiti, basically.
Oh, they're doing graffiti? Yeah, of course. Tapes the chain to... Does he tape it to his tail?
Yeah. And in the movie, he takes it to his the bender of the police car.
Yeah. And motorcycle pulls away, skin stays behind, scream.
Yeah.
He's loaded on by two little
scratchies.
Sorry,
itchy.
Little itchies.
Little itchies.
I got two little itchies.
Hey.
I got two owies.
But yeah, and then it ends up with him in the plane, and then it's like, the Big Bopper. Richie Valens and Buddy Holly. Oh, no.
Oh, no, because he already knows this is the plane that crashes because he's from the future and has a prehistory. You know, that doesn't work as a gag for me.
And this is a show in the Simpsons universe for children who know who those people are.
Yeah, for real. And then, of course, just in case we don't know who they are, suddenly they all have fangs and claws.
Yeah. That was even...
Simpsons love that joke, though. They've used that, like the hiss
The vampire
and the
bit?
vampire bit many
used
a
that a few
time.
times.
Well, yeah, I think the joke they're going for is, you think the plane's going to crash? Nah, they're vampires. Oh, and also then the plane crashes.
Also, the plane's going to crash.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like... They're the damned souls, bringing him down to hell with them, taking him down with us.
Every time you die, you see Richie Valens, Buddy Holly, and the Big Bopper.
I know every time I die, I see Richie Valens, Big Bopper,
I
and
thought
Buddy
it was
Holly.
just me.
Ah.
Hey.
Wait, you guys have died before? Oh,
You haven't?
I've got some living to do.
You've done too much.
You've done too much. But anyway, it's all means to get us in the lounge room of the Simpsons house. It starts out there watching television.
I know,
again.
as I pointed out, and I really enjoyed, this is what I've picked up, is the number of times we start by watching The Simpsons, watching TV is astounding.
Yeah.
But then, the kids are up late night watching television as loud as they want. What's up with that? And Homer's just like, well, you know, it's Valentine's Day. You know what that means. You get to stay up all night and not go to bed and keep the TV up.
Yep. And I like this. And coming back to your whole undercutting point, the way he goes, so naive. What was that, Dad? Oh, nothing. So naive. Like,
No, that was
That's a very Homery sort of bit, though.
yeah, but it wasn't
It just
funny.
dragged the joke on a bit much, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, was this the... Oh, shit, that was the last episode where they did the sing-song thing. Oh, I did the sing-song thing, too. Then we did the sing-song thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I really wanted to, swear about that. fuck, I missed my chance.
You got it now, man.
That was so fucking bad. It was really annoying. I mean, one person doing that in real life is frustrating. Watching like 30 people just do it again and again and again is not a funny bit to drive home. It's just like ruining your episode. I'm just like, why am I putting up with this? Why am I watching?
Why am I putting up with this?
Why is he putting up with it?
I brought this on myself.
Why are you putting up with it?
Why am I putting up? Yeah.
We love you.
But back to this episode. So it's all about Valentine's Day now, and Homer goes upstairs, and he's really treated Marge to a nice bubble bath here.
He did pretty well. There were a lot of candles in that bathroom. That bathroom gets really... Do you know how hot it gets when you have like a million candles lit? It's like crazy
oh my gosh,
hot.
it's ridiculous. Once you got the vanilla and then the boysenberry start going, and then you got to add a bit of lavender as well to balance that out, because you want some fruitiness in amongst that sweet. And then you maybe want a little citrus, get a general blend of aroma in the air.
Women, you guys got to jump this Robo Beach. This is amazing. Listen to him go.
My penis has 9 settings.
Hey, Beach, what are you doing later, baby?
You, by the sounds of it.
Woo!
boys, flirt on your own time.
This is my own time. But yeah, okay, so Homer's pulled out the stops. He's got the romantic bubble bath and everything's going, and, sprinkling out rose petals and goes, thank you, 60 minutes too.
Yeah.
Although it was a little creepy when he was like hunched over being like, yes, drink more liquor.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird.
I'm getting you drunk so we can do weird sex stuff.
I thought it was funny.
No, I did as well.
Drink, my pretty.
Well, let's face it, that happens. People go on dates, they go on romantic weekends, they bring a box full of hooch.
Yep, and also this happens. Marge comes to bed, not in the mood.
Yeah, she's just
Even
tired.
though she usually brings her A game.
Oh, she does.
She brings her aim game to the bedroom.
Well, I kind of like they did that through dialogue. It's like, oh, I usually bring my A game, but now I'm just a little tired. Gay game, whatever. But I'm just kind of worn out. But they didn't do like I'm just so tired from all these things. Let's flash back to my various things that I did and the reason that I'm tired. Because
No, man.
like I'm glad
it's
that
totally two glasses of wine tired, not
Yeah.
6 glasses of wine
exactly.
energized.
But and I liked Marge saying, oh, you're so cute when you beg for sex.
Yes, that is my new favorite line from
That
her.
was one of the first of many amazing zingers. I've got actually a list of zingers
Yeah,
on my
there
phone
were
now.
some just great one-shot straight lines. And that's what really kind of bugs me when they get into the overly wacky stuff later. It's like, no, you had such a good episode if you just stuck to your guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Um,
it does make me wonder, like, how much of it Dana Gould wrote, because I generally, by and large, love his stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I
feels
think he's
like
really funny.
It feels like
Yeah.
someone else came in and went, we got to punch this up. This isn't enough wackiness. That's what the people want these days. Some whack.
yeah.
It feels like it started with a really good script and then faced a lot of snip
Yeah.
in the... Well, how was the bit?
A lot of whoa.
What do you think of this bit? Homer's last desperate act to try and get Marge in the mood puts on the mixtape. Uh-oh, this is Maggie's mixtape. Well, that means...
Yeah.
I actually kind of like this one because he puts in the tape, plays it, but it's the lullaby, but it's just, and then Marge falls asleep to it. So
Yeah.
I like that part. And then it wasn't so much, wait a minute, this is, it was not as hardly pushed as the way you described it then.
But if this is Maggie's mixtape, then Maggie's got... That was exactly what it was.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Look, I liked it. I think it was a cute bit.
My tool shed!
And even Maggie doing her little, like, Madonna Vogue dancing to Sex Bomb.
Yeah, it was...
It wasn't as bad as one where she's dancing to Britney Spears and she's got the shirt all rolled up and everything. And this, she's just kind of, doing like the Vogue poses and the boxing face kind of moves that you can clearly see on the podcast that I'm doing
I liked
now.
it. I like that bit. It was cute. I actually remember people like, coming to school after that and talking about it, the little Maggie dance. So I think it worked out quite well because it wasn't drawn out.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't like overly vulgar or anything.
Yeah,
it was just,
exactly. It was just her dancing. It
was
wasn't
the-
anything creepy.
It was a cute version of a joke that we get a creepy version of later or before I come out when that other one happens.
It's in the same season,
Okay.
season 14.
Wow.
That's weak.
Yeah, that does actually undercut it a bit, doesn't it, being in the
Yeah.
same season?
Yeah, that's weird. All right. It is very weird it's in the same season. So Homer, still awake with a raging heart on,
Yep.
then has to get up and go for a walk. I broke Claire. Obviously, to try and get rid of some of that blood flow. Naturally, this sends him walking through like a ironic billboard area with like, couldn't get any on Valentine's. Well, my life is over. It's just the big billboard for the suicide hotline. And what's the next one? It's like, was it a gym or a dieting or something? He's like,
Oh, it was Chub
Chub
Med.
Med.
it's like, suicide.
Yeah.
That's very much the diet.
Yeah.
Yeah. The good misdirect, yeah.
No, that's the exact same joke, though. Dying's scary, but dieting is worse.
Oh, yeah.
Suicide's scary, but losing weight is worse.
But then it leads him to go to night college, which they did in that other episode. You know, when Mo was giving that instruction that if some gangster comes up and disses your fly girl.
What should I do?
Well, it's not going to work on the podcast, but you give him one of these.
if you push enough attitude, it will.
So what do you guys think of the whole night school thing? Dr. Hibbert's little strip school there?
I liked the bit. I didn't like Hibbert in it, though. He felt out of character. He was, like, angry and serious and no laughter. Oh, and then he was like, I used to be a dude called...
Malcolm Sex.
He looked gorgeous as a male stripper, by the way. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I kind of like that this is like his unmentioned past. We've never really seen much of early Hibbert. We've seen bits and pieces, but he's still a doctor.
But it's funny that this implies that he takes the night school stripping class seriously and not his doctoring career.
Yeah.
He's always been a competent doctor, but damn it, this stripping is an art form you need to understand. There are schools around this country that will teach you how to be a doctor. This one teaches you how to strip.
It was interesting just to see him being out of character. I know the exact last episode I was really ranting about out of character people. But the way they were playing him hard edge, I think could have been funnier as a different character.
Yeah,
hard edge stripper.
Like
if it was Willie or something.
That would be
You want to say an oily Willie?
See there? Already room for more gags. No, wait. The black cop, Lou or Eddie?
Yeah, Lou.
But like, I don't know.
No, I kind of would have liked this. Like, I didn't actually start off as a cop. I just kind of fell into it from wearing this uniform.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple of misunderstandings in drug raids led to
And
this.
then I got my badge. By then it was too late. They just gave me a badge.
So Homer's already stripping off and like oiling up and
putting on oil of oh yeah.
Oil of oh yeah.
There are a couple of quick sign gags, and that was what I really liked.
Yeah, see, I was mixed on this, but yeah, I did like Homer. That grease was for the rest of the class, but I like that Homer goes, oh yeah, I put on 3 coats.
It's like when he gets pushed out of the class, it's like, oh, no one loves oily
And
Homer.
he's standing there slowly sliding.
Along.
That was great.
I like the here's a quarter, call your mother and tell her that you will never be a stripper.
Yeah, but then I didn't like, don't you usually chuckle here? Like, do the line, Bart.
Yeah. They're pointing it out a bit much. I mean, it's setting up for him to go, there's no love, this is no laughing matter.
Yeah.
Really driving home that I've been serious this whole bit in case you hadn't noticed.
Yeah, I actually think without that line, the rest of him being serious was fine. If they didn't point at it and call attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in another example of pointing things out, Homer falls over and starts sliding right into the Successmanship 101 class. And then the teacher points at him. See how smooth that segue was? And goes,
almost as smooth as an oiled up Homer.
You, the greasy naked bald man.
You know everything about me.
That was great.
Mm-hmm.
I was a bit mixed on the whole routine with the Successmanship guy, though. I thought it was very reminiscent of the
90s guy from Futurama.
Oh, he was a bit too.
Every Successmanship story.
Yeah, they're all like that. If you've ever been to one of those things or had work made you listen to one, they're all like that.
It's a clear point at the Tony Robbins motivational speaker where it all ends with write me a check. Write me a check and this is why I'm successful. Yeah, the bit of him throwing out Mole Man really like stuck out, sort of. I thought it was hilarious, and I also thought just like strange thing to do. Surely you take his money first and then throw him out a window.
But I love his speech there when he's like next to comic book and I was like, oh, it's pizza's filled, I'm fat, and then I can't remember who stands and goes, oh, I'll stop sucking later.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what it was. It was the way that Mole Man was crying out, being like, I'm sorry, or whatever he said.
Thank you, teacher.
And then he hits the ground and goes silent.
Yeah.
There's this long, like 3 floors down of him crying, and then
it is
thud. Sorry.
I kind of cut off your thought there.
It's okay. I was about to thud and go silence. Feel free to start talking.
But it is keeping in Moleman's character. He is want to die. Like,
yeah. Too beautiful for this world. But we got the really good line then when he's like, you see that car there? That's mine. They gave one to me, gave it to Steven Spielberg, and then shot the guy who made it. And you hear, in the chat, you hear this, hate to work for that union.
Yeah.
Which is
Zingers episode, man.
Literally a crowd noise gag, but like, for the love of crumb cake.
Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, that about does it for the first act. Yeah, Homer comes home and goes, all right, Bart, you do homework. Lisa, don't do as much homework. Maggie, learn to talk. Marge, love. Let's go. Like,
yeah. Oh, of course, before that, of course, the first point is treat every day like it's your last.
Yep.
He stops, pulls over. You life obstacles.
Calls them all life obstacles. Yeah, because I've always hated that advice, live every day as always your life. It's like if I did that, I wouldn't have a bank account left.
Yeah.
And I'd have a massive drug problem.
Just massive hangover problem at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible advice. Don't pay attention to that shit.
No.
Yeah, like he's just pulled to the side of the road sobbing.
Yeah, beautiful shot. Very poignant.
At the top of Act 2, Homer installs a hook for the keys.
Yeah, he's being all proactive. And I do
So
like
proactive.
Marge's quick little line. Oh, now I don't have to put them in this bowl anymore, like some kind of heathen. Homer picks up his hat from a hook, picks up a donut from the hook. It's a good little quick bit.
Picks up Maggie, puts it on the hook. I didn't hate it, but
There were hooks everywhere.
It went a little bit long.
That's how proactive he's being. It's a 3-hook day.
Yeah, gets to work and hangs up a poster of Swedish efficiency team.
Yes.
I really want that poster.
Yeah, that's
I want them to produce that poster.
They're all doing
Men in
sexy
business
poses.
suits, sexy poses on a bed. It's great.
Yeah. Immediately starts looking around the plant. I like his line in the book, if you don't know what else to do, tattle on the cattle.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
And separate yourself from the herd.
Yeah.
Tattle on the cattle.
Yeah. And yeah, I like the guy who's sleeping and the leak into his mouth.
Yeah.
Did anyone else feel really sick from seeing that? Just
A little bit.
yeah.
The guy
Yeah.
who gets the toxic sludge on his arm, then runs into the
Safety shower.
and
Safety
it
shower.
sets fire to him.
But I hated okay, I liked Lenny and Carl fighting with the rods, but I hated that they were fighting out about the Star Wars prequels.
It's a little too, this is what year it is.
Yeah.
Funny it was almost funny. That's kind of one of those ones.
Yeah.
I think it would have been funny if they didn't start name dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah, just them battling with carbon rods. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, there could be an argument about something,
It was
but
a
make
clear
it more...
enough reference anyway.
And the other joke I liked in this section was the coffee in one room, cream in another, and stirrers in another.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Again, another just great visual gag.
I love that, the grumbling crowd.
And leading Homer to go up to Mr. Burns' office and give him his full day report.
Yep, in which we then get the phenomenal... He's all like, Mr. Burns, I've compiled a list of things to make this plant more efficient. And then we have the phenomenally great line, oh, fiddle-dee, let me throw back my legs and pollute my britches with the light.
Oh, God. Even after 14 years, they were still coming out with quality Burns ears.
Well.
So I'm just going to say it again because it's fun. Let me throw back my legs and pollute my britches with the light.
There are a lot of... I really liked Mr. Burns in this episode.
so
Everything about, every scene with him was good.
Man, just the zingers all the way around. And all the ones I've got noted down are from the next parts on, so I can't give them away just yet. But
No, that's
holy
okay.
shit.
Does a classic trapdoor bit. Homer's not standing on the trapdoor.
Yeah.
And another one where I went a bit too long. It should have just been, would you mind? And Homer's like, yes.
Cut.
But
Yeah.
then there was the bit with the eels.
Yeah, and then pushed it too far again.
But I'm mixed because it's kind of funny because then they cut to the Simpsons at dinner and Homer's got little antenna, his two little hairs. And
I didn't know Mr. Burns had an electric eel tank. Well, he does.
Yeah, I'm a bit mixed on that bit. Oh, and this shows another bit of Marge's delusion in their relationship.
Here we go.
And she's trying to calm Homer. Oh, so what? He doesn't like you. Who cares? Whoop-de-boo. Who gives a diddle? And he's like, I'm going to Moe's. So my husband drinks it a big floop. Who gives a bibble?
Gabba gabba hey.
Gabba
gives a
gabba
bibble?
hey. I do like any little moment where the kids share a look.
Yeah.
Oh.
Lisa's adding
again.
another bit of string to her ball
I
of
was
yarn.
just
Yeah,
thinking.
exactly.
So Homer goes to the bar, and he's like, Mr. Burns doesn't take me seriously. And Mo is like, maybe you should, get some sweet revenge. Give him some FaceTime with Sweet Lady Brick.
Sweet Lady Brick.
Always good with the quality advice, Mo.
Oh, yeah, so Homer goes to set a flaming bag of Lisa's college fund.
Yeah, that was a bit dumb. It's like, it's like, why, how, what? No, dumb. But then leads us to a good bit where he overhears Burns and Smithers talking about how Burns could go to jail. And it's like, oh no, the owner with the plant will go to jail. Canarium Burns.
Which I thought was actually a really clever plot point for this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why it works well. He's like, yeah, that's the legal owner. You get a great little throwback gag. He pulls down a chart of the Springfield plant.
Yep.
It's got the canary, then Mr. Burns and Smithers, and flows down. Then down the bottom, it's got the inanimate carbon rod. Under that is Homer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they come to put C.M. Burns in jail, it's the canary that does the time. Sir, can you do that? Oh, yes. Tycoons have been doing it for years. Why, Standard Oil was once owned by a half-eaten breakfast.
That one I love for the imagery that it puts in your head.
You see a boardroom, and then there's the half-eaten breakfast at the end. Those little chewed-on toast.
Bit of eggs.
Coagulating eggs, yeah. That leads to Homer at night then sitting in his bed all having a dilemma. He knows now that if he gets rid of the bird, that Mr. Burns is at his mercy, but is he that sort of man? And then really weird is Flanders next door going, you could also use some curtains, and he's just sitting there in a chair in terms of like you see the glow of his
facing the
pipe.
window. Oh, it's
like,
so
wait,
creepy.
are you perving on them? And if you are, why do you want them to get curtains? But
Yeah,
also,
it's just, and with this, the last episode that we watched as well, is Flanders just constantly obsessed with Homer and Marge's sex life?
it would make a lot of
Yes.
sense.
Maybe that's the theme. That's like the
Ooh.
Hidden
theme,
theme
for
of
these
this
episodes.
episode.
Ooh.
Flanders, weirdly obsessed with other
He
people's
wants
sex
to watch
lives.
some diddly do it.
So yeah, Homer and Bart break into the nuclear power plant, and I liked the joke when they set the canary free, go to the Canary Islands, and the canary comes back and looks at the globe. But the thing that ruined it was that they wrote Canary
Yeah, it was
Islands
really big.
and
Yeah.
there were no other country names. Like,
yeah, it's a weird thing to dislike about a joke, but it's like, no, I get what he's doing
Yeah.
before you have this
Yeah.
big Canary Islands, get it?
What if they don't get it?
What if the bird didn't know
Then
what the
it's
islands looked like? It could only read English.
But
Ooh, my next note.
Think of the bird.
But yeah, it does make me think, do you think I'm that stupid? Come on, trust your audience a bit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It just doesn't have any faith in itself or its audience and just has to shout jokes at you instead of just, because I think we skipped over with Nuclear Lego, where he's like, but sir, if they ever find out you put those barrels of nuclear waste underneath Legoland, and then it shows Legoland with all mutating and attacking, and it's like,
Talk about a runaway government.
at least that character died after telling that joke.
Yeah.
Things we can
If
all be
only it
grateful
was the
for.
script right. Sorry, Dana.
Yeah, wow.
Well, no, it feels like someone else put that in. It feels
I know.
like
That's
maybe
why
not.
a good 3/4 of this is just amazing zingers, and then the rest is just like ham-fisted stuffed in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking I was so impressed with them for the little inanimate carbon rod joke because they didn't point it out. Like for us that's been watching it for years, that the inanimate carbon rod actually means something. It's funny, but it's still funny enough for people who haven't seen it going, he's right at the bottom of the totem pole. You know?
Even lower than the inanimate
And you didn't have to
bullshit.
do anything about it. Like, didn't have to say anything. It was
Yeah.
just, it was there. It was nice.
That is good writing.
Yeah, and I think we all wrote that
Good
joke
work,
down
Dana.
because of it.
Yeah, totally. And then the next bit after that with all that's left is the bird's mirror. Hello, little birdie. This is one of the rare moments of Burns that I did not like.
Yeah, it went on long. I like the animation of his face contorting in the mirror, but it felt stressed. It didn't. I mean, it felt forced. It didn't. There wasn't any reason for it. He's not the kind to kind of get distracted by how pretty he is and coo in the mirror. It's very out of character.
I liked it. I'm sorry. I
That's
did
okay.
like it.
That's why we
I'm
have the
sorry.
individual rankings on the podcast.
Look, it definitely went on a little bit long, but I like, ooh, lovely beak. And, I
Yeah.
thought that was cute.
I'm the same way. As in, just having the one bit would have been fine, but then they went on long enough that his face kind of distorts in the mirror to look more like a parrot. And then it
Yeah.
got really stupid.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
who wants a kiss? Who wants a kiss? And
Yeah, if it just been like, who's a pretty boy? Oh, look, haven't you got a nice beak? Cut there.
Yeah,
It would have been
yeah,
cute.
yeah.
Because we know he's a little bit self-obsessed.
And also because that would have been still within character, because he is such a beaky sort of
Yeah.
person. Like that could have been something that he would say, but the who wants a kiss, like that's that's
I'm a
completely out of
bird
character.
now.
All right, and the Patsy bit coming up.
Oh,
now.
kill me.
Man.
It's
It
actually
was-
kind of so cheesy. I kind of liked it.
It was almost funny. Like,
Yeah.
it's a classic bit where, like, I'm looking for a patsy. And
Hello.
No, I can't talk to you right now. I'm looking for a patsy.
Hello.
Stop saying hello. I'm looking for a patsy. Not you bumbling fool. I'm not looking for a fool. I'm looking for a patsy. And so on ad nauseum, which means until it makes you sick of it.
Yeah, and I think this would have been a good time to institute the rule of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they do about 5 or 6 times. If they left it 3, it would have been fun.
It's one of those jokes that went too long in that, I think we've talked about this in podcasts before where it starts off good, then it's shit, and then it's good again, but regrettably they went back to shit.
Yeah.
The thing is that it's a really familiar bit. I'm looking for someone, and he's right there saying, "Look at me," and I'm like, "I can't look at you now. I'm too busy looking for the someone." That is an overdone bit, but it's timeless, which means that you can be extra brief with it because people already know what you're doing. Having said that, the animation on his pop-ups was lovely.
Yeah.
I really liked that.
Keeps kind of almost teleporting around the room.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good thing for Mr. Burns to eventually get Homer to be in charge of the plant and for it to immediately bite him on the arse.
Sorry, this is where my next note was. Just to get this out of my system. So Homer kicks Burns out through a little loophole, and Burns says, "So the caterpillar has emerged from its cocoon as a shark with a gun for a mouth." Oh, Burnsy, you just losing the plot altogether, man.
On fire.
Holy shit.
But I like how Homer tries to keep up with his repartee and goes, "Checkmate, king me."
Such a beautiful bit. My notes actually end not far after this. So.
Yeah, the third act is a bit of a blink and it just happened.
Yeah, the show actually ends.
So Homer's in the CEO now. He's in charge.
Got Lisa as his accountant, naturally.
He just kind of, he's playing with the door closed thing and then cracks a walnut, and it's kind of funny.
Oh, it does the Burns' reign of terror is over. Now for my reign of terrific management.
Oh, I thought he was going to say terror.
Again,
I didn't think he was going to go there.
A bit of a Canary Islands, but I think it's redeemed with I didn't think he was going to go there.
Yeah.
I honestly would have liked him if he goes, "Now for my reign of terror."
Yeah.
just go for it.
And then they cut to Marrakesh where Mr. Burns and Smithers are trying to get drugs.
I know. Holy crap, that was weird.
Yeah.
Everything is drugs.
I like that, but I didn't like the way they did it. I don't know.
No, it was more how and why did we get here? I guess this is just where he wants to retire, but they kind of didn't say that. They were just there all of a sudden.
No, I didn't mind Mr. Burns as,
He's doing
the great white
adventure.
man going to,
I
third world
think
country.
because I thought we'd come back to it and we never did.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's Batmaning.
Oh, no, they briefly touched on it, but it was another shitty joke.
Yeah, it was when Mr. Burns came back and said, Smithers took to a Turkish prison quite quickly after that
he's
opium
got 80
bust.
years in a Turkish prison.
Yeah, for a director, it's like, wow, okay, that's a different flavor of a joke, but sure.
So yeah, Homer's really worked hard, and even on his vacation, is still doing work.
Yeah, really trying to make the planet a better place.
Yeah.
Actually, this is one of the few times where Homer really
tries.
Puts in actual, intelligent work.
Yeah.
Like he works hard at other jobs as well, but usually they're more like the bowling alley or something like that, where he's
building
not
a barbecue
challenged,
pit.
but he's really
Well, in these jobs, he's left to his own devices, and in this one, there's pressure on him, and people constantly around him saying, "Do."
Yeah,
and he does
helping him,
I said
telling him what.
But then you said another do, so you said do.
I quite liked the people around him trying to help him. No, what I didn't like though was her being all like, "Don't look at my boobs, and I'll do your work for you."
Yeah.
Felt really clumsy.
I did
and
like
crude.
The CEOs were all with him. Sorry, not CEOs.
that
the
part
other
was good.
management staff were doing the ski pyramid with him.
Yeah.
Can't I do a bit of water skiing? And then if they just had them under him, but still pushing work on him,
Yeah.
then that would have been a great joke. But yeah, you're right. It was a little bit like, workplace sexism. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Simpsons.
And then conference dinner, the weird line of, "Hey, Bart, that's a printer port, not a finger hole."
Not a finger hole.
This is my point of it not having faith in its own jokes, because they've got the line before that of, "Come on, you're not so old you can't kiss your daddy's screen."
Yeah.
And so that part's kind of a good joke. Like the way it's delivered, it's like, you can still kiss your dad's monitor. Come on. And then it's got, "That's a printer port, not a finger hole." It's like, you had a decent
What if
joke,
they didn't
and
laugh
then
at
you
the first
shot
joke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put in another one. I don't care how bad it is.
Well, yeah, then Burns comes back and shows, said, I liked his line, "I ran the plant for 62 and
3 years in twain.
Yeah.
That's 62 years by New English.
He says New English like with disgust.
with quotation marks.
In New English.
And then, takes him to the cemetery to show all the people he's lost over the years.
And then lists one.
And
Oh, yeah.
But this leads into one of my favorite jokes, even though it's so obvious.
Yeah.
I still loved it.
Yeah.
So it's all sort of unnecessary because Homer's already come to the realization, but I guess they point that out coming up here.
But that's what I like. I like that, all right, Burns is showing him the grave and Homer's like, you know what, you're right, I don't want this. I want my family.
Yeah.
And it was one of those genuine moments for him, and it didn't feel forced. It was actually quite a lovely, like, you know what, I'm tired of working this hard. I don't want to miss out on my kids anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when he gets darted and pushed into a tomb because Mr. Burns is just not listening. And it's like, you will wake up walled in here forever.
In my mausoleum.
And then he's only, 2 rows
does
up.
the night to day transition. He's just 2 layers of bricks. Homer casually steps over it. Mr. Burns keeps working.
Yeah, he's like,
he's so
fool.
caught up in the moment.
Scream all you want.
You're just running out of oxygen.
And then my favorite part, Homer goes and gets a blanket. There.
Yeah.
I know you were trying to wall me in and murder me, but you're just so bad at this.
And then they have a company picnic and everything's back to normal at the end.
It's not even a company picnic. It's Homer's 305th back to normal barbecue.
I liked that joke.
That's a good joke.
It was a good joke. I agree. The end of the whole,
It
the
points
third
fun
act.
at The Simpsons as a series.
Yeah. But it's also because the third act did feel really rushed. It was an acknowledgement that it was a really quick wrap up as well, like specific for this episode. So it worked quite nicely, I think.
Time for the questionnaire. Play count. How many times do you think you've seen this episode before?
Definitely seen it once.
I think I've seen it a couple of times.
Maybe once. Maybe once-ish.
Yeah, it's one that I've seen a bit. I'd say 5 or 6 times. Did this feel like an episode of Simpsons?
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone was on
Yeah,
point.
it
Mr.
did.
Burns
Yeah.
was evil and had terrible schemes that were also evil.
Yeah, his lines were insane but genius.
Homer was acting differently, but he had motivation to do that.
Yeah.
It all fits.
Yeah, I was sort of grumbling earlier in the episode about them sort of redoing stuff they've already done, but I guess they did it in a different enough way that it does feel like its own episode.
Yeah.
Well, the wackiness.
Yeah, that was the part that really didn't serve it well because everything else around it was so good. It's a good story and there's some really great jokes. And then having mutant Legoland and shit like that just really sucked.
Totally needless throwaway as well.
Yeah.
The one good thing, and this is what I sort of remember because I have seen it a couple of times, I don't remember the wackiness.
Yeah,
like
true. That will fade.
It's very forgettable.
That's
it's not really.
Legoland is the only one I can remember. I know there's more, but that's the only bit I can remember.
I didn't even remember that until it actually happened.
Yeah.
So it's because it's so unnecessary to the plot. You kind of ignore that part, and the rest of it makes up for it.
Yeah, I agree.
How about the hut? I guess they were going for the Homer misses his family thing at the end, but it was so rushed that you don't get time for that
I
sentiment.
kind of feel like because
sink in.
we've done that so many times, I'm kind of glad that wasn't a big point.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
Like we got more jokes out of it with the whole Mr. Burns trying to wall him up, and that would have made it better because he went home and hugged everyone and they played.
Yeah.
You'd be like, okay, here we are again. But I mean, it's still a weirdly quick ending, and it kind of makes me wonder how long this episode is compared to the others. Are we actually missing a few minutes or?
Well,
yeah,
no, I mean, it was actually, if anything, a long episode. Like,
oh, really?
yeah, well, they did straight. Oh, I don't remember if they did the full intro.
They did. It was the one with the flip book and the hands.
Yeah, an IRL couch gag. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
Yes.
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 Yep. All right, we're going to watch it again. We're going to put it in a playlist. What playlist does it belong in?
Homer Jobs.
Burns
schemes.
Schemes, yeah.
Burns not working at the plant.
Yep. Mentions of the inanimate Carmen Rod.
Nice.
Flanders being a creep.
Yes.
Really, really, really.
Margie, sexy,
Valentine's
romancy.
Days.
Valentine's Days ones, yeah.
Sexy Marge.
Sexy Marge plan.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
episode,
cute when you're begging for sex.
yeah,
Oh,
episodes where
God.
Homer doesn't get any,
Yeah.
but he wants to.
But I was going to score. No, you weren't.
I love that one.
Episodes where roadside signs tell you suicide and then fasting and you choose suicide.
Yep. All right. Well,
Short playlist, but it's a good one.
All right. Well, I guess it is time to rank this thing. Claire, kick it off for us this evening.
I think I'll go a bit high with this one. I'll go for silver.
All right. Why?
It's just a very enjoyable episode. I didn't really get that bothered by the wackiness. I can see now that B just talked about it and everyone's sort of pointed out, yeah, it is definitely the downfall of the episode. But overall, very enjoyable. Would watch it again. And a lot of quotable lines out of it.
Sure. All right. Danny, what do you reckon?
I think silver as well. I think it's worth a gold, but it wasn't even the wackiness that really upset me. It's how short they cut the third act. I like the idea of clearly a producer or something has been like, okay, we need to wrap this up quick. We're running out of time. And so the writers are just like, wrap this up quick. Here's how you fucking wrap it up quick. We'll just we'll do a wrap it up quick party. And as a bit, it's funny, but it also still left me feeling really like lurched with how short. It felt like the movie. It still had 10 minutes left. You know.
Sure.
You woke up and the episode had already left.
For real.
That's money on the couch.
Money on the
not
counter.
even a letter.
Yeah. So I thought it was filled with zingers. There was a lot of really funny bits, but something about the pacing and the writing felt like they got so distracted with how funny they were, they didn't wrap up a storyline properly.
Sure.
Neatly.
All right, fair enough. Silver for you. And BT?
I started at bronze, but through talking about it, I'm going to move to silver as well. It's because I think about the other ones I've silvered, and this feels like it belongs in there. If it comes on, I'm actually genuinely going to get interested and sit down and watch it because I am surprised. I remember this being worse. Yeah. But I think there's more to take away in terms of the really good, quick little lines than the wackiness is bad, but I'm going to forget that. It could have been a gold for me if they had just backed themselves and not been like, oh, we need to put another joke here because no one's going to get that joke and we need something waka waka. Yeah, and it's a rushed third act, I agree. You could have cut some other stuff out of that. Why are you grinning like that? It's disturbing.
So they cut the episode short. Whoop-de-doo. Who gives a bibble? Gabba gabba hey.
All right, that cinches it. That absolutely cinches it.
Silver.
I was about to say bronze, and then you're right. Who does give a bibble? This is a silver.
Gabba gabba hey.
That's all I got to say about that. All right, unanimous silver from this panel.
Hey, well done episode.
It'll be entered in the spreadsheet and will be joined by other episodes that are silver, such as Guess Who's Coming to Criticize Dinner, The Departed, Treehouse of Horror 7 and 12, and The Call of the Simpsons.
I feel like that belongs to this one.
Call of the Simpsons.
Yeah.
Call of the Simpsons. Flat silver.
Yeah.
It's season 1 slow episode.
Yeah.
For some reason, season 1, every episode just holds a place in my heart.
I know, it's got that, but when you look at it through this powerful critical lens that we've constructed here, you can see into its beating heart.
No room for nostalgia on the surgical table.
Okay, so now we've got a bit of a mistake to correct.
Gasp.
In episode 43, when we did 22 short stories about Springfield, that was for our competition winner, Dan Dennis.
Oh, man. We were so mean to Dan Dennis. I'm sorry, Dan.
Dan Dennis, the dental hygienist.
Thanks for being so good to us, Dan.
But anyway, he actually requested that we do the Simpsons spin-off showcase.
Elliot, you idiot.
How dare you show us a great episode instead of a great episode?
I know, right? I think I got confused because the other episode, 22 for 30, the basketball documentary one, and I don't know. So anyway, we're making it up to Dan Dennis, and we're doing the actual episode he wanted us to do. So here we go.
Whoa.
And we just watched the Simpsons spin-off showcase, season 8, episode 24, written by Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein, or Weinstein, or something. Anyway.
Mr. Johnston or John Stone.
And in this episode, it is a fantasy out of the Simpsons character, sort of a bit meta Simpsons, as they're
Spin-off
showing
showcase. 3
vignettes that all serve to be spin-offs from the show The Simpsons.
To fill in the gaps in Fox's scheduling.
Yeah. Oh my God, wasn't that a great joke? Especially that point in the mid-90s where
X-Files, Melrose Place, The Simpsons.
That's it.
Nothing else.
Yeah. Was it Simpsons writers who were commissioned to write 35 new shows for the Fox?
It seemed like an impossible task, and it was.
It was.
Yeah. So, that's what I didn't ask. Guys, what did you think?
Loved it.
Loved it,
it's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love this episode?
This one,
But how much did we love it?
So much.
With all our
whoa.
hearts.
We're not saying so until the final touchdown.
Do.
When have I called the last segment of this show the touchdown?
That's what's refreshing about the show. We're always evolving, always getting new and interesting ways to review Simpsons.
It's so funny how they make the comment of, how can a show stay fresh after 8 long years?
If only
wedding
they
after
knew.
wedding after wedding.
So it starts out at the beginning with everybody's favorite Troy McClure.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet, sweet Hartman.
And the amount
so
of
good.
times that I've watched this and I've never noticed the gag of him walking along the corridor and the camera panning and he reaches the wall and does this little like startled cat face before he turns around and has to walk
Casually
back
goes
the other way.
back the other way.
But
yeah.
a total pro just launches straight back into the spiel,
So good.
back to reading the teleprompter.
What I really love about the carry-on gag is that every time it cuts back to him, he's in a different embarrassing sort of little stupid thing that shouldn't be on the air. Him walking into the wall, then the next one he's like staring down the mannequin's
He's got the
cleavage.
chair out.
The Charlie's Angels cleavage.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
yeah, the best thing is he's standing on a chair to do it.
Oh yeah. And there's like a close-up of him and the cleavage. It's like careful. And then of course the interview with Tim Loincloth,
The curator of the museum. Turns and just gets up and
Oh man.
Yeah, it doesn't even. He was saying, nope, it's just, I'm speaking with him. And anyway, on to the segment.
Magical.
So yeah, the first segment of the night is Chief Wiggum, PI.
Beautiful
Guys,
stuff.
what did you think?
I thought it was exciting and sexy.
I loved the intro sequence. I loved the soundtrack, that beautiful like Magnum PI 80s, 70s sort of like disco funk soundtrack. I love the montage. There was the first shot of him with the two like single-hand shotguns just like blowing apart a shanty shack for no reason whatsoever. Him leaping across buildings. There was, like,
with the motorbike.
With the motorbike.
Chasing a guy on foot.
But
he's
even
on a motorbike.
all the like little the gags that they put into this intro as well, like
Everywhere.
getting bitten by the crayfish,
Yeah.
or and when Ralph turns up at the end as well,
And draws the little G next to the
Yeah.
PI.
They
and-
stop and have a laugh.
Yeah, because he's the silly character of the series.
I really love how happily they just point the finger at all American television and at themselves, all the laughing at the camera things, all the freeze frames, all throughout the thing, even, just to kind of talk in general, like when Mo is just like doing the camera face and like saying, this guy here, this is the guy.
Love-matic grandpa's going on. He's like to camera, he just does this.
Man, all that fourth wall shit is so hammy. And yet it's such a part of American television culture.
There are so many details like that in the final bit, which we'll get to, but my God, it's...
But yeah, in this first segment, like, they're totally, turning that whole cop genre on its head. And, like, it's not even as bad as it was in the mid-noughts, with the various CSI and NCISs. And
Definitely.
they're just really, really tight, neat, like punchy parodies, and they, there are times where The Simpsons has tried to mimic a genre and they've stuffed it, like it's not worked. But it's 3 in one episode, and each feels really complete. Much the same way as the 22 short stories about Springfield. Every little segment feels really complete, really tight, and they just do a great job of. I particularly like. Wiggum and Skinny Boy. Out of all 3, that's probably my favorite little story.
For sure. It's such a charming duo.
But they're all so good.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice for them to pair up Seymour Skinner, and I like that he was born and raised in New Orleans, yet knew nothing about it.
Well, I haven't lived here for 42 years, but I read in Parade magazine.
We have the great introduction by Troy McClure, who's like, Chief Wiggum and Principal Skinner in New Orleans? Well, at least keep one eye open for the Simpsons who might drop by.
And that's another joke I never picked up on when I was little.
I had to write that one down because I'm sure I've never noticed that before.
I never noticed, actually, the first scene in the Chief Wiggum PI thing where Chief Wiggum is listing off all the names for New Orleans. New Orleans, the Big Easy, the
Sweet Lady Gumbo, Old Swampy.
Old Swampy.
That's when he starts reaching. He's like, Old Swampy.
Yeah. But yeah, the pairing was fantastic. I mean, you don't know why Seymour Skinner was there, but I like how they established why Wiggum was there.
It's like, I don't get it. Does the whole explain the plot thing. I don't get it, Chief. Why give up your job in Springfield and come back over to New Orleans?
Yep, that's right.
Well, a lot of reasons. Most has got kicked off the force for massive corruption.
Massive corruption, yep.
I mean, because he's basically the man on the street skinny boy. So they needed someone that was really like hip and street and in touch with the crowd.
And instead they get Skinner.
Yeah, well, that's it. They get the most uptight character they have.
One thing I wanted to ask about this, where's Sarah? Why is he a single father all of a sudden?
Yeah, they kind of glossed over that one.
I'm assuming that will be
maybe she left him for
later.
the massive corruption.
I think it'll explain later in one of the latest episodes of Chief Wiggum PI in an exciting and sexy adventure.
Chief PI.
I know.
Why?
Because it's funny.
It can't be both.
Even when he kicks the guy off the I just want to call it a gator boat, but it's with the fan on it,
The hoverboat.
The hoverboat. And he's just like, police business.
Yeah.
He kicks him off. I was like, no, it's not. You've been massive corruption. It's kicked you off the force.
Yeah. I love this as well because I think we've all got a bit of an affinity with New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's delightful. Gumbo.
Oh, my
There's
God.
a bit of New Orleans in all of us, in everyone.
In all of us.
Everyone on this podcast has actually visited there.
That felt good.
Good to be able to like see a little bit of the architecture reflected in the animation and stuff.
Yeah, the tight streets, tall buildings, balconies, people partying off them.
I just got back Skinner saying, if I remember correctly, New Orleans isn't really much of a party town. It's like, what were you doing if you were born and raised?
Yeah. Anyway, they make an enemy out of Big Daddy really quickly.
Yeah, he just throws a skull through
The second that Chief Wiggum is saying, get the word out to Skinner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't even get the word out.
I like the way, well, they might think that until I arrest them for throwing skulls all over my floor, and then he puts it on his desk and shoves pencils into it.
And then, there we go.
And then cut to his houseboat, which is the big Queasy.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
And, like I said, the good little sign gags.
And he's tucking in Ralph.
But again, doing that overly first episode plot exposition, like, well, it's not easy being a single parent and a police officer.
Yeah.
It's like juggling, well, two balls.
Yeah, two, I suppose. That was so good. And yeah, these rubber pants are hot.
You wear them till you learn, son.
And then he's sleeping, and this is a beautiful animation bit where someone slips a gator through his window.
It's corked, though, luckily.
Yeah, fortunately.
Next one,
warning gator.
Oh, but he rolls out of bed and just shoots up the entire room, and the gator's just standing there, like looking at him, not moving at all, not making any sort of like difficult target, and he doesn't get hit once.
Nope.
And this is why you bring Skinny Boy on the team.
I know, this was beautiful. He comes in, Skinner just wrestles the gator. It's
Also,
just magic.
Very like Hollywood TV, where he comes up on camera from below, like dramatically wrestles the gator, clearly in a way that's guys wrestling fake stuffed gators always do. And then him and the gator go down off camera, and he comes up and you see him punching down off camera, like you would with stuffed gator, of course.
Just no animals were harmed in the filming of this production.
Oh, he goes outside and he yells off the balcony of the ship, "I'm always 2 steps ahead. Chief, your boy has gone, oh, God!"
I love those that are scared. Oh, God. It's like, when did that happen?
God, how?
It's just one thing after another. I just moved here.
I just said I was 2 steps ahead. God damn it. And yeah, the whole bit with him kidnapping Ralph is beautiful. I taught him to play the spoons.
He's shoving them up his nose.
Also, the bad guy's last name actually being Daddy.
Yeah.
It's Daddy, Charles Daddy.
Oh, that was great. Expertly played by Gaylord Sartain. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right.
The scene, okay, well, we have to go out, they go out, there's Mardi Gras on the street, and that's the Simpsons amazingly turn up in the spin-off.
Yeah,
Who saw that coming?
Like we were saying about American TV tropes, this is the classic backdoor pilot move.
That's it, the reverse walk-on, the spin-off tie-back.
Yep.
I really liked him walking out into the Mardi Gras, and suddenly there's this like the camera, like he's overwhelmed and terrified by the claustrophobia of it all.
Yeah,
Acid
that looks really
flashbacks.
good.
Camera did some really good work there, and the echoey sort of laughter before the Simpson reveal. And And then he's like, I'm looking for my son. Perhaps you've seen him. Caucasian male, 6 to 10 years old.
Yeah.
Thinning hair.
You mean over
Thinning
there?
hair.
Look, Big Daddy, it's regular Daddy.
Oh, I suppose I'd best to run.
I wish I wasn't so fat.
That was so great. And yeah, I loved it when the Simpsons were there as well, and Lisa was like, "Oh, we're just excited to hear about your sexy adventures." I actually realized this is the only line Lisa had in this episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love that every time they talk about his career, they drop the word sexy in there.
Yeah.
It's all part of the brainwashing sort of Hollywood thing.
And there's actually no T and A in this episode either.
T and or A. So he chases Big Daddy all the way through the bayou until he comes across the Big Daddy's hideout. It's like, what's the rent on a place like that?
Yeah.
It's not rented. That's the governor's mansion. It's been missing for 8 months.
Yeah.
But then comes what's probably my favorite part is when he chases him into the office. Big Daddy's running, sits down in the chair, turns the chair around, and turns around and goes, "Please, Chief Wiggum."
And then dun dun dun.
I have been waiting for you.
I've been expecting
Wiggum
you.
gasps. He's just like, dramatic reveal.
So it's you.
And yeah, there's a bunch of like little Nyalan-isms in his speech as well. Like, yeah.
It's very pleasant to listen to.
Yeah.
I best
really
I
like
should
it.
run.
You know, we have a saying on the bayou, it's a blip.
He throws Ralph at it. And then he jumps out the window and you see him like frog paddling away.
I believe that is called the breaststroke.
Not the way he was doing it.
Just a gradual getaway.
It's very slowly getting away. Turtle's got my glasses or my teeth.
But yeah, and I love it.
What?
Yeah.
The turtles have your glasses or teeth.
Turtle's got my
I got the
teeth.
quote wrong. So sue me.
No, I'm just confused.
Speaking of having to own up to mistakes, we've got some corrections to do because I keep forgetting to do this.
All right.
For some reason, this came up. The current world record for cup stacking is 4.813 seconds from William Orrell.
Well, heaven forbid we get that wrong.
We never specified how long it was. We just mentioned it existed.
What else we got?
When we reviewed the episode Thursdays with Abby, the title was taking off Tuesdays with Maury, which was a 1997 book written by Mitch Albom. It was a memoir of the time he spent with his elderly sociology professor.
And it's A.B. You keep doing
Yeah,
that.
like Abraham.
Oh, fuck, did I do that again?
Like
Corrections on the
Abe
Simpsons
Simpson. AB.
Before, when I said Abby, I meant Abby.
No.
God damn it!
No.
You did it again.
I'm a pathetic host and a joke of a podcast.
I'd like to make a correction about the last correction you heard, correcting the previous correction.
Those that are responsible have been sacked.
Yep. All right, llamas.
Interestingly, Tuesdays with Maury was made... Thinking how I could fuck that up.
Yeah.
Tuesdays
Maury.
with Muri. Tuesdays was... shit together. Tuesdays with Maury was made into a TV movie starring Simpsons cast member Hank Azaria
Oh, really?
and former guest star and inspiration for Gil Gunderson, Jack Lemmon.
Nice.
Here we go, Beach. Cornelius Chapman was Springfield's oldest man in Season 11's The Mansion Family, was not related to Cornelius Talmadge from Season 9's The 2.5 People
Ooh,
Better
There we
Ones.
go.
Harry Shearer is 73 years old.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Wow.
And that's all the corrections we have for the corrections index.
Take that again. Say that's all the corrections in the house.
And that's all the corrections in the house.
Nice.
All right, now we're moving on to the next segment, the Love-Matic Grandpa.
Yep.
The Love-Matic Grandpa.
Yeah, I do love the intro to this being
So bewitched, I dream
Bewitched,
of
I
Jeannie.
Dream. Yeah, it's exactly what I wrote down. It's that exact kind of animated style, and it even ends with Mo doing like a to camera as animated within an animated series mode to like to camera. Waka waka.
The shrug.
Yeah, and I like the line of Barney, I'm going to go on a date with the woman who sings out the front of the drugstore.
Yeah,
Told me
and
she was washing her hair tonight.
yeah, what I love is, she told me I was washing her hair tonight. Nobody loves Mo, and then the laughter kicks in.
Yes.
I really
I'm
love.
so desperately lonely.
Yeah. Yeah, I love throughout this one especially, and just all of them have that great canned audience responses.
Yeah.
But there is definitely a darkness to this particular segment. Just jumping ahead to when the love tester is in the urinal, and he's just like, I've suffered so long. Why can't I die? It's just, how bleak.
But yeah, I mean, they play with the dark themes of this segment really well. Like, I love, Grandpa and Moe's relationship, you know.
I like the quick little line where Grandpa is talking to Homer and he pulls the plug in. He's like, that's the second time he pulled the plug on me.
Yeah. No, all the stuff with Homer was
You
dark.
buried me naked in a box and sold my suit for, what is it?
Ping pong table.
I just really loved Homer's walk-in. It was such a classic walk-in.
Greetings.
Beautiful, beautiful. Classic Hollywood timing, setup, and entry. His sort of cocky, self-righteous entry, also entering clearly to the audience more than to Moe.
Yeah.
Not quite a Kramery entry, but the same sort of thing.
It doesn't burst in, but it's definitely the, hey, audience.
I am the central character now.
Yeah.
Remember Homer Simpson? And the audience was like, Dewey? Oh my God, I didn't think he'd be here.
Love that guy.
I said he might be, but he is.
Oh my God.
What a treat.
We should all live our lives like we're that guy.
What a treat. Sorry, I had to try to say it. It sounded so good.
It is literally a treat.
And then Homer walks off again. Boom.
Yep.
So the Love-matic Grandpa is helping Moe with his love life.
Yep, and I love how quippy he is as well. Yeah. Hey, I wrote the book on love. Yeah, All Quiet on the Western Front. Again, such classic sitcom-y stuff with the like their attention to pacing with each of these shows. The cop drama, the tacky love sitcom.
None of them feel rushed. They're so very well paced and hilarious.
I know, and for 7-minute bits, that's a bit of an achievement.
That's astonishing, yeah. So one walks in having had car trouble and, what was it? I'd like to take you out sometime, out back.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I mean, to a fancy French restaurant? Ding, 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 ding.
She's pretty quickly swayed to turn to the breakfast line, like straight after that one. All right, a step up from out back.
Yeah. Buy me some snails and
Snail macaroni.
Then I love Grandpa starts into this long, rambling Grandpa speech of, I actually invented kissing. It was World War II, and we needed a way to spread germs. And, like, Moe does that whole to camera, he does this kind of thing.
What am I going to do with this guy?
This guy.
Yeah, and cuts to Moe wheeling in the restaurant, and he's put a little suit on it.
Yeah.
Like the love tester, as if people won't notice.
And it's so beautifully sitcom-y. How am I going to do this?
Yeah. Total, what is it?
I
at
can
the
see
restaurant.
Abed doing it. It's a bit. It's shtick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just one part removed from wearing the secret earpiece and getting the advice on a date. But
and I actually liked how it was very sitcom the way that they, there is actually a term for it, the problem occurs, everything's going smoothly, then there's the issue, and that was the complication, thank you, and Grandpa the machine is getting bashed up in the urinal for, telling one of the bully boys that...
Before that is him justifying he needs to keep running back to the bathroom. He's like, yeah, I got the runs. I'm going to keep shitting. I'm sorry.
But then, comes back to the bullies beating up on it because, it said one of them was gay.
Yeah, and I like
Gurney.
The after joke of that where Grandpa starts singing Daisy like in 2001.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 2001 reference.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's 16 years old now.
It's the best, most boring 3-hour movie you'll ever watch, but it's still fantastic. And it's also very boring.
Dick. You broke me. It's so late. And I love this next bit where, Grandpa's all damaged and he goes, oh, tell her this. He's got a rump as big as the Queen's.
And twice as fragrant.
And then the flip cut.
Yeah,
I love the sitcom where the screen just spins.
Open door, closed door sort of movement.
Moe's got a bowl dunked on his head. It's like, you stupid pilot.
I bet in America they'd call it escargot.
But you know what? And that's the other thing I love. No, it's terrible. Don't laugh at that.
They would.
Oh, so terrible.
I'm encouraging him.
Yes, stop it. The other thing is, and it's such a sitcom thing. He goes back into the bathroom to, yell at Grandpa. But he's covered in soup. She has no reason to think anything weird is going on. He's gone to the bathroom, presumably to clean up, but she still follows him in there.
Yeah.
The sitcom thing is to follow
I remember
him.
thinking that when I was young, going there's really, he's pretty justified for the first time to actually be in there.
Yeah, but we need a resolution, and it comes from her walking in and being like, "What's going on here?
What's this all about?"
Devious, lying, sweet, lovely man.
Yeah. Well, I really wanted to do ya.
I ain't too good with the ladies, and I really wanted to do ya.
Yeah. No, it was fantastic.
Oh, Mo.
So, yeah, they rush the ending and it's like, hey, introduce me to the cute payphone out front. Oh, sitcom. Grandpa.
Oh.
They literally do that. They literally go, ha, ha, ha. Oh, Grandpa.
Mo says, he's horny.
That's right.
Does he?
Yeah, it is. They're all laughing, and then buried in the laugh track is he's horny.
Gross.
All right, and the final segment, the Simpsons Smile Time Variety Hour.
Take her.
What happened?
Malaysian noodle hour.
Are you okay?
Malaysian Noodle House.
Ooh, he's good.
Yeah, so this is a big parody of just variety hours of the 70s, and I think pretty specifically the one featuring the Brady Bunch where Jan opted not to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to I think that's what their costumes are a reference to as well, but I couldn't find a visual reference for it, so I'm not sure.
I love that. I really love that they've substituted Lisa and completely changed her character as well.
Into a cheerleader.
I mean, it's totally what happened. I mean, the whole thing with Jan is that she was kind of plain in the Brady Bunch, and then, for that Variety Time special, they totally replaced her with someone that was way better looking than Marsha. Like
those form-fitting costumes with the stars on them kind of remind me of Jackson 5, especially with the bell-bottoms and
I
things.
think that's what it is, maybe.
Also, maybe what's that family, the singing Osborne family? Osmond family?
The Osborns were a very different family.
Donny Osmond and the singing.
Yeah, sure. Now, this is a tricky bit because I think this is obviously the weakest of the three stories, but it's kind of what it's going for.
Yeah, it's the thing. And it's done. There are so many little details that are so well done to what it is. The first one, because they do this. They go to this Beaver sketch first off, unless anyone has an interjection quickly.
The whole song, the roll call.
Oh, yeah.
I'm this person, here's my character trait. And how they totally retcon Lisa is, I'm a sophomore and I'm blonde and peppy.
And I've won prom queen 5 years running as well. And then of course the classic, hey, stop the band, where's Dad?
Yeah.
It is
it's what it's going for.
A bit,
it's
but
perfect,
it shits me so much at the same time, and that's the whole problem with this skit, is that compared to the other two, which I just enjoyed, this one is so cringy.
It's succeeding at doing what it's trying to do.
I hated those variety shows. I couldn't stand them. So even though it was a very good version of them.
Yeah, especially the bits were like, wait, stop the show. Something's gone wrong.
We're totally off script
tonight. Kill me. But it's perfect.
Yeah, it's nailing the cringe, but it's intentional. So it is hard to figure out if you like it or not.
And Tim Conway as well, another guest in this episode, did an excellent job at being that guest.
The cameo.
Up.
Yeah.
We got the great lead in of, we've been busy as beavers. Marge, you ever wonder what it'd be like if we actually were beavers? Yes. But then what
man.
Yeah, totally
What
right.
I really like about this bit, though, is that they're all speaking as though they have those artificial teeth in their mouth. So they've got a little bit of a lisp.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's subtle, but it's one of those things where they could have just skipped that, would have been fine.
Yeah.
But I like it as a detail of this being kind of a corny thing, is of course you would speak a little bit weird when you have two massive buck teeth up front.
Absolutely. And then, again, with the tackiness, the cringiness, the jokes were fucking
I made your
awful.
favorite.
Yeah.
Steaks.
The jokes being bad is better. It's so much better that way.
Yeah.
Look, everybody. Maggie got her first tooth, and everyone laughs, and then she pulls a little face. Oh.
Yeah. The timing of laughter into awe is perfect. It's not how an audience would react. It's how an editor would cut together the laugh tracks, you know?
Yeah, especially with these variety time shows where, there were film segments and live segments sort of thing.
Your audience's emotional reaction is carefully scripted and timed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mean...
And this, such a trope. But I've got to tell you this thing. In a second, once I do this other thing. No, you don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that trope. Like
Tim Conway's a skunk.
Wow.
Everyone
they all
faints.
faint. Yeah.
And so then they do cut away from that, and then a bunch of really quick fire random bits with various Springfieldians. Like Sea Captain going, yeah, that blew or something. What did he say then?
Someone ought to be keel-hauled for that one.
Yep, and then Judge Snyder wheels by.
I move that this sketch be stricken from the records. Now bring in the next offender.
Those two frames before we move on were really great. Having the captain stick his head out of what is essentially just like a 60s backdrop of flowery colors and shit. Really in keeping with the surreal sort of sketch show, variety show from that period.
But yeah, they do that. Have doors built onto set walls.
Oh yeah,
and
very
pop
Pee Wee
out.
Hermione sort of thing, even, you know.
Yeah.
And then the judge like gavel, and his whole podium's on a wheel being pushed off.
Out,
Really like that one almost felt Monty Python-y to me, like the
totally.
the
Now for
reaction
something
shot, and then
completely different.
we're in, we're out, it's over.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then leading us into a big medley about candy.
Which, and again, there's another little prop joke here because Marge is reading the newspaper, but it's completely blank.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that until you pointed
I
it
know.
out.
I've seen this so many times.
So we jump around various characters just singing about candy.
Yeah, there's I want candy. I don't know what the peppermint twist is ripping off.
But let's appreciate the music here is all really great. It's
Yeah.
all big band. It's exactly what you get at
Yeah.
these kind of variety hour stuff. Really good.
No, absolutely.
Especially the licorice whip.
The big band doing the Devo
Yeah.
riff, man.
Yeah.
I've never heard that song so fully realized.
For something they could have just done a really shitty electronic version of. The fact
Yeah.
they did the proper version, really cool.
Scored it with a band, and there's another couple of quick sketches. The Molman's poem.
Oh yeah.
That was a well-quoted one on the school grounds.
Yeah.
That was everywhere.
But then there's a really quick bit where the sea captain says something else and then steam blows out his pipe. But
Yeah.
you can actually see the rigging cords leading to his pipe as though
really?
as though they've set it up.
I noticed that this time.
Yeah, that's what I've never noticed, but they've put in all these details of making it look like a show that's been put together on the cheap.
Yeah.
Great.
See, and it was sort of that this was sort of a thing about me nervous about watching this episode, because it is actually a point of contention with a lot of Simpsons fans, because especially the last section going for the non-laughs.
Yeah.
But when you talk about details like that, man,
It does make me love it a whole lot more,
totally. And it's
ranking is going to be tough on this one.
Yeah.
'Cause how do you rank something that's trying to be cringeworthy and nailing it,
By
but
how
you're
well it does
still not loving?
well, that's it. If it's a fun ride, it's a fun ride. But anyway, and then it ends up with them all in bed together, big giant.
And I do love Tim Conway's got the line up. Where'd he go? I'm still here. Fox wouldn't spring from a motel room. He's kidding.
We'd
love
like
you,
to thank Fox. Yeah.
And the good people at Budget Lodge.
And then immediately when they say the show's over, Tim Conway runs off set.
Runs off stage. Everyone else has the pillow fight for the fade out, which is probably a pre-scripted pillow fight, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, it's what we do at the end of every podcast.
Oh, we fade out.
Yep, stripped down to our bra and panties. It's after you leave, Claire.
So the last segment in this is cut back to Troy McClure, and he's talking about the Simpsons, how all the new stories and adventures that they're going to have over the years.
Yeah.
Wedding after wedding after wedding.
Magic powers.
Long lost triplets, but fucking what's his name?
Oh, Osmodiar.
Yeah.
The little alien that only Homer can see.
So from my understanding, he was like a character based on something that was in Flintstones.
Flintstones, yep.
Yeah.
During their later seasons when they were running out of ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, in there, like season 6 or 7. It's amazing. And this is another thing I want to bring up is that, like, they were poking fun at the Brady Show Variety Hour, which was like, I don't know, 10 or 20 years after the end of the Brady Bunch. And it's funny that, like, they're pointing at how tacky that variety show is, and then here's The Simpsons, some 20 years later, and...
you either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain.
That's it. I mean, they haven't quite become a variety show, but they've gone on a wacky adventure to every country on the planet,
There has been wedding after wedding after wedding.
Definitely.
Into space how many times?
And did someone say magic powers? Like voodoo?
Yeah. Or Gaga powers. Gaga, 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 Gaga.
Stab.
Ow, that hurt.
Not you.
Nodding. It is time for the questionnaire.
Good. I'm sorry I showed enthusiasm.
Sounds good.
Good. Get it over with.
Play count. How many times do you think you've seen this episode?
Yes.
About the same amount.
70 times 70 times 7. If you want to get biblical on this shit.
Wait, what's... Oh, come on. This would be the perfect time for that Mr. Burns quote. For 30...
was it 3 score?
3 score and twain.
3 score and twain. I've seen it that many times.
That's 62 for you folks that speak new English.
Yeah. I mean, this is one that as a kid, I actually probably watched this a lot more than like regular episodes because it was a fun, different spin. I put it up there in 100, I'd say. Any memories of how this episode affected your life?
I sang Licorice Whip a little bit. I like that.
Yep.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lollipop, lollipop. Look, Big Daddy, it's regular Daddy. And learn to play the spoons. And so much of this episode is just stuck with me for life. And yet
I can't believe we missed this. Chief Wiggum PI will return right now.
Yes.
That was so often quoted.
I think like you said, when you're a kid, it is the kind of wacky that's still really quotable. There's songs, there's everything. Like, it's got a little bit of everything. And there are so many of these things that I actually remember at school being quoted.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the other Simpsons stuff, I suppose I remember it more from my like later teens as opposed to my... Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean,
good.
it's episodes like this and 22 short stories and Treehouse of Horrors really that like
stand out.
Yeah, were a nice break from the format, and like because they were their own self-contained thing, you can forgive them for the flights of fancy that they go on. Any jokes that kind of flew over your head in the day?
I definitely didn't notice all those little details in the last segment.
Yeah, the blank newspaper.
Yeah,
the strings and stuff on the pipe.
I feel like I didn't hear Grandpa say, "I invented kissing as a way of spreading germs in World War II."
Yeah,
or that he's
maybe
horny.
I did come out.
Yeah, or that he's horny. Definitely, like I'm sure I heard him say, "Why can't I just die?" But I never really sunk in just how bleak that was.
Yeah. Did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
It felt like a spin-off.
Trick question.
No, I think it did because it's the Simpsons doing another format. They've done this a few times.
The characters that make it feel like The Simpsons.
Yeah, I'd say
exactly.
the characters are so on point to their own character that they feel natural within these unusual circumstances.
Yeah, even Skinner, who you think could be way too uptight to leave his principal's job,
Not only that, because Principal Skinner, like you're saying, he's meant to be like the man on the street, but he's so out of touch.
Yeah.
No, wait, it's the children who are wrong. Yeah, he doesn't even know New Orleans is like a party town. He says, I think it's Marty's something.
Yeah.
He's still very Skinnerish, even though he's got a completely different role where he's not supposed to be.
And Wiggum's still completely useless as a detective.
And Ralph comedy foil.
Yeah.
Poor Ralph.
Oh, can we get some James Earl Jones of Look Daddy, It's Regular Daddy?
Do it, man.
Look, Big Daddy, it's regular Daddy. Talk about the wackiness. Very.
Yeah, but all like contextually wacky.
Yeah.
Again, this is not impossible wacky, it's improbable.
Carefully conscious wacky.
Yeah.
Every wacky was making a specific point about Hollywood, about common tropes, about American TV cultural history.
About Fox having nothing on.
Yeah. It was all very scathing, really. It was like a scathing critique of America's television.
This was one that Matt Groening especially was nervous to produce because...
Yeah, fair enough. It's such a huge change of pace.
Yeah. It's wacky on purpose to say, so there, America, do better.
Yeah.
Be like the Simpsons.
And I mean, it's funny. Like, I think spin-off culture has changed, but it's more about reboots these days.
Yeah.
And they're sort of still doing this same shit of the tacky cop show, the shitty rom-com, and then...
Well, now it's more almost franchising, because instead of spinning off from NCIS, you just have NCIS some other location.
Yeah.
Miami and New Orleans, actually, is NCIS.
And every country has its version of that particular TV show.
Yeah.
NCIS Hornsby. Another guy was stabbed at the shops today.
Fucking looks like it was some cunt with a knife, mate.
Fuck.
You lot put down your tinnies, let's get going.
That's his catchphrase.
Put down your tinnies. Put down your tinnies and reach for the sky.
Love it. You're renewed.
The heart definitely felt it in the Love-Matic Grandpa.
It is weirdly cute. Like,
Yeah, there's a couple of irrelevant questions. It's not functioning like a normal Simpsons episode. But, I mean, going back to Treehouse of Horror, we asked about the parody. Like, the parody is so on form here.
Unbelievably on point, yeah.
Brilliant. Really clever look at 3 different genres. And not only did the pacing of the show change to match that genres,
visuals, directing, music.
Yeah.
That's right, because Chief Wiggum, all exciting and fast-paced. Lovematic Grandpa, a bit slower.
Well, big difference is Wiggum feels more like it's shot on location, and Lovematic Grandpa feels like sets. You get one angle to each scene.
Point. Yeah,
and that's
camera angles in Wiggum are very different to in the other ones.
That's really, that's such a good
it's
pickup.
more of an outside show rather than Lovematic, which is all inside. And so, wow, good grab.
Yeah, to convey all that with like animation and so seamlessly that you don't notice it, but you would definitely notice it if it wasn't there.
Yeah,
it's it's what makes the parodies work so well. Is they've captured that exact.
I was
element.
actually thinking even when it was playing with the opening of Wiggum PI, where he's in the car and they do the spin around with the camera. I remember noticing that, and I didn't even think that that's such an integral part of that style of programming.
The exciting over the head shot panning down, and then he's driving past the New Orleans sign and stuff.
Even the low shot for them jumping over the roof as well. Like, yeah, you're right. Fantastic.
Yeah, and then the very next one having no external shots. He goes straight from interior Moe's to interior restaurant,
and always staying on that one angle.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. But yes or no?
Oh God, yes. God,
yes.
I'm replaying it in my head right now.
So we're going to watch it again. What playlist does it belong in? It belongs in, 3-segment sort of shows. Like
change of format.
Danny Dentist's episode, ones where Troy McClure goes, "You might remember me from such films as..."
Troy McClure.
Like this and 138th episode Spectacular.
Yeah, he's got a lot of space in this episode.
Nah, and used it well. Rest in peace, Phil Hartman. We love you.
Yeah, very sad.
So it is time to rank this thing. Beach, kick
it off.
Kick it off, Beach.
Well, this one's tough because production-wise, it is flawless, and that they're nailing what they're going for. Does it deserve that high cubic though? That's what I'm stuck on. I'm gonna cubic, but I may retract that. Everything is an exact parody of what it's trying to be, even if it is a bit cringeworthy and not fully funny. They're doing it perfectly. So, like I said, may retract that. I'm gonna sit with my cubic, see how it feels, see if it fits my lifestyle.
I'm gonna give it a gold, and for the reason that if you're not aware of the parodies, this episode is fucking lost on you. And also, if you're not aware of the Simpsons characters, this episode is fucking lost. It still gets the excellent ranking from me because it is such a well-realized, awesomely funny episodes. But yeah, the Lovematic Grandpa, it's a bit slower. The Variety Hour section, it is going for the cringe value, which can just get lost on people. And yeah, it's definitely a gold for me. What do you think, Claire?
I am a solid CZ. I really think, I mean, I won't deny, I cringe a hell of a lot when I watch that variety show.
Yep.
And I probably, looking at the younger version of me, I wouldn't have rated this a CZ, but now I can't rate it as anything else. It's so tight. The rest of the episode is fantastic. It's just so well done. It deserves that recognition, and I would watch it again and again and again and again ad nauseum until I die. So it's the CZ.
My problem, and this is my only problem with giving it the CZ myself, is that I feel like I'd love it all, but when that third segment come up, I would go to pee. Like, I would be okay skipping it. Actually, no, I do really like some of those bits.
Yeah, see?
See, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough. How bad do I have to pee? Where's the remote?
It's next to the stove. You left it there when you went to make eggs earlier.
God, why did I...
We didn't mention that bit...
Wait, the eggs are still in the soup!
We didn't mention that bit at the end of the musical number when they're all holding the pose and panting and sweaty.
Oh, that was great!
Yeah.
Well, why don't you mention some other points we might have missed and give us your ranking, Danny?
I'm going to give it cubic zirconia as well. I better talk fast because I always go on and on in this bit. I think this was fiendishly brilliant, really scathing. I think this episode absolutely set out to do what they tried to do. They had an idea, let's make fun of the entirety of American television sort of up to that point in 3 brief vignettes. And they did it as best as you could possibly do. I look at each of those as masterpieces of script writing and directing and camera work and production, regardless of whether they connect with every member of the audience you can pull out of the crowd. You can't even no matter what Cubic Zirconia episode you pull, you can't expect every person ever to connect with it the way that you do. But I think the magic of this one is how they really managed to achieve what they were going for. A parody. I mean, you look at the shitty Treehouse of Horror parody ones where they're like, oh, what if we do a copy of The Blob? Or what if we do a copy of what if they're witches now? What if they're this? And there's no depth.
Soul.
There's no depth and complexity and soul to the parody or well-roundedness of vision. And here, it's intelligent. It's so... it's so impressive what they've done.
All right, well, yeah, that about does it for the episode, and it'll be a dull Cubic Zirconia joining such episodes as Krusty Gets Busted, Bart the Murderer, Lisa's Date with Density, In Marge We Trust.
Oh, that was a good one.
Little Big Mum, HOMR, and I'm with Cupid.
Nice. That's
Well
that's some
done.
good company.
I don't know why I've wanted to applaud our rankings today.
Because we're smart people.
So yeah, that about does it for the Simpsons Index this evening. Thank you guys for joining me in the dank to watch these episodes.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
All right, and that's been Danny.
Hi.
And that's been Claire.
Bye.
And that's been BT.
Ineffectual greeting.
And I have been your host, Elliot Jay O'Neill. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all the mustard in the house. Thank you for checking out the Simpsons Index podcast. Don't forget to go to www.thesimpsonsindex.com for the spreadsheet and information about upcoming episodes.
And for today's extra content,
You other brothers can deny. When a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist
And a round thing.
in her face.
Like Star Super Queen, just calling that for a funk band name. Just call me Super Queen.
Do you really want that, Beach?
I said it, I can't unsay it.
He's a
Is that your
super
funk alias?
queen.
You got your Cheesecake Calloway, the jazz alias.
Yeah, it's true.
Super queen.
No, I'm going with Groove Tuner for that.
Oh.
No, that's your band.
That's it.
Super Queen and the Groove Tuners.
Oh, fuck yes. Come on.
Oh, Groove Tuner and the Super Queens. It is win-win. If Super Queen's band doesn't do too well, Super Queen also sounds like a great stain remover.
That's super clean.
Mr. Super
Yeah.
Queen.
No, see, the thing is, the name is so good, we don't need songs.
Yeah.
So we just have awesome titles
Yes.
like, all right, this next one's called Funkadelic Hypersonic.
Oh my god.
Hope you loved it. Now, our next one coming up, we're going to take a 5-minute break.
Yes.
Just old names.
Wild applause. Wild applause.
Five
All
stars.
forms of underwear get thrown at the stage. I leave with new underwear.
He
Profit.
never does laundry.
Man, I need a new shirt. Let's gig.
Oh man. I want in on this band.
You got
Think
some
of the name and you're in. Who are you in, Super Queen and the Groove Tuners?
I've got to be Afro Jesus.
bottom heavy Buddha berries.
Oh my god.
Well, that's a song name.
Damn it, that's right.
Because you can't be the bottom heavy Buddy Berry.
Bottom heavy Buddha berries.
It's pretty good for a bass player, I'll say that. Like, get something other than Berry, so your bottom heavy Buddha.
Barry.
Yes.
Welcome aboard! You will get so many underpants! See? 2 members already.
Oh, it's so good.
But yeah, I did want to point out the pineapple pepperoni pizza because that's a great pizza. And
No, it was at that point of the episode I just said, you know what, just marry her.
oh, Jesus.
But she does seem nice. I mean, fair's fair.
She's nice, she's Simpsons attractive, she gets pizza. Literally the 3 things anyone looks in for in another person.
Especially Homer.
So we should all marry Elliot for getting us pizza tonight?
My kind of harem. You shall live with me and do podcasts every day of the week. And sex stuff. Lots of sex stuff. Do you like pepper? Do you guys like pineapple?
Try again.
Do you guys
Pina
like
coladas, walks in
Getting
the
caught in the
rain.
rain.
live each day as if you've still got like 1 year left, but only 1 year. Because then you wouldn't spend all your money.
Sure.
You know what? Just live each day sensibly.
Yeah. Live each day sensibly with a bittersweet realization that it won't last forever, but you may have to survive tomorrow.
That's a very complicated and not very punchy catchphrase.
Doesn't look good on a
Life is complicated and not punchy.
Yeah, your bumper is mostly
Get me
sticker.
that on a t-shirt. I like that.
So yeah, let's stop at the
glowing lightsaber fight and the way they were just holding the fight styles, the fighting styles.
Okay, you have to use that voice forever. Nope, the rest of the podcast is filmed in that voice.
You've had enough podcasts. I might have to cut you off there, mate.
Yeah. What else do you watch on Fox? What else would anyone watch on Fox?
Yeah.
Fox News. It was a good joke.
Don't eat on a podcast, man. Come on. You know better by now.
Yeah, but
I have a finger raised.
We are eating. Actually, we're eating an American snack. Maybe you guys know it. It's Hers jalapeno flavored cheese curls, and they're fucking delicious.
They actually are. I'm not even much of a chip guy, but I had trouble putting these down.
yeah, our social circle has famously had some serious troubles with these cheese.
Wars have been started. They've also been ended.
Remember that time we thought we were out of them?
Oh my god.
Oh my
We were not ready to be out of them.
I nearly lost my shit. Like, it's the closest I've come to murdering all of these people. Luckily, I didn't.
It's good to know that was the closest.
Yeah. Good to know it was over cheese curls.